All right, guys, we are up this morning, this Monday morning. It is about 5:20 in the morning for me. Good morning, guys. We are going to look at some stocks. Market is mostly gapping up today. We have tech being weak, but the broader market is gapping up some. So here's actually, the market might be down a little bit today. Let me see. Okay, so but the market's been flying over the last 5 days or so. Here's the Q over the last 10-day period. It's been ripping up pretty nicely here. Here's Tesla. Tesla gapping up today as well. And we're in Tesla right now. Remember, we are holding Tesla currently. So, yeah, we're going to let that one ride some more, see if that one can continue up. I guess Disney is up too today, right? Yeah. What's up, Tim, Al, Boar, Dan? What's up, guys? Good morning. Let me get some music playing here as well. Haven't had any coffee yet, so. Whew. All right, we are up, man. There we go. You should be able to hear the music too. What's up, XRP? I'm gonna do a poll here like we always do. It's a Woodhouse, Paulo, XRP, Tim. All right, let me try to drink some coffee, man. I know I need it. Hope you guys had a good weekend. My weekend was pretty good. All right, but yeah, we're gonna do a poll here, guys. Let's do one. Had a good weekend. My weekend was pretty good. All right. I guess the only question is, does the market down today? What's a good poll question? If you guys give me a good one, I'll use that for my poll. What's a good one? All right, but yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think the market run will continue? There we go. Debt ceiling. Will Bitcoin retest 27,000? You do the debt ceiling one. Will there be a debt ceiling decision today? Yes or no? Vote on the poll. We got a couple people requesting that one, so that one's good. Moon or Doom. I don't think there's going to be one today, personally. Myself, we'll do a little. We'll let this poll last a little while. Again, personally, I don't think they're going to do one today. All right, so we got that poll up live. Let me go in and put this stuff up here too. We default on everything going down. Maybe, bro. Yeah, it's going to be right at the very end, man. Again, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be right at the very end. All right, but yeah. Let me drink my coffee. Ooh, I got some water here, too. What's up, part-time? All right, guys. So, yeah, we are up. Yeah. Yellen said, quote, in the Meet the Press on Sunday, she said, quote, I indicated in my last letter to Congress that we expect to be unable to pay all of our bills in early June and possibly as soon as June 1st, and I will continue to update Congress, but I certainly haven't changed my assessment. So I think that's a hard deadline, which is specific early June, June 1st. They asked, Chuck Todd asked if the country can stretch to June 15th when more tax payments are due before defaulting. And Yellen said that the possibility of that is, quote, quite low. There'll always be uncertainty about tax receipts, so it's hard to absolutely certain about this, but my assessment is that the odds of reaching June 15th while being able to pay all of our bills is quite low, end quote. Check the description. There's a 20% off link there. Yeah, check the description. There's a 20% off link in the description. Yeah, it's typically pretty. When they do it, it's usually kind of late. You guys know how they do it. What's up, JD? What do you think about Bitcoin today with the market open? Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's still sitting right where it was when the weekend started, right at 27,000 or so, just under 27K. So, I mean, it hasn't really moved much over the weekend. It hasn't really been doing too much throughout all this stuff. So, I don't really know what we're going to get here. So, yeah, I really don't know what we're going to get here, but still sitting roughly at the same spot. Hasn't really moved too much since all of this. Hard to predict the market direction lately. Downtrend for the SPY or S&P seems broken. Trend line seems to be forming. There is a lot of resistance at 4,200. Yeah, I mean, the Jerome Powell thing kind of threw a wrench. I did want to thank everybody, man. The Jerome Powell stream was our largest stream ever. And so I appreciate everybody joining us. It was really fun. Yeah, it's going to be fixed before June 1st, I think, as well. I think they're going to get it done before then also. But yeah, guys, Friday was our largest stream ever. Largest stream we've ever done. So thank you guys so much for that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, Tim. Maybe. We're watching it. We'll see what we get. Looking at our poll numbers, we asked people, Will there be a debt ceiling decision today? 72% said no, and I agree with the 72%. I just don't think they're going to get it done today. I just don't think they're going to get it done. What's up, Steve? All right, guys. So yeah, Tesla at 181s right now. 181s. It's a pretty busy week too, guys. We got a lot of stuff happening this week too, man. It's not a slow week, so we got a lot of stuff dropping. I'll give you guys a full list of stuff. So economic data is pretty slow for today. For the next 2 days. So there's not really much economic data today and tomorrow. But where economic data is slow in the beginning of the week, it's super busy in the second half of the week here. And so Monday and Tuesday, again, it's a pretty slow week. We just don't have much going on. We got services PMI tomorrow, new home sales tomorrow. And so we'll, services and new home sales tomorrow. We could do that. Richmond index, we can do that stuff. So that's cool. Wednesday, we have Wednesday is when the activity starts. So Wednesday morning's pretty slow. So Wednesday morning, we don't have much, but we have the Fed minutes report, the FOMC minutes report. That goes live at 2 p.m. And so that's certainly something that we're going to stream. It's certainly something that we're going to cover. It's going to be a PDF file that goes live right at 2 p.m. on the dot that explains why they chose to make the last Fed rate decision, the last rate hike decision, and this will influence everything else. And so that'll certainly be something that we're paying attention to and watching on Wednesday. So Wednesday, we have the Fed minutes report. Thursday, we have the GDP numbers coming out in the morning. So we have GDP, jobless claims, and all that stuff. So GDP data live Thursday morning. Very relevant stuff as well. And then Friday, we have PCE, core PCE numbers. All very relevant numbers. They're expecting 0.3% for core PCE on Friday. So 0.3%. So this is really the preferred inflationary gauge that the Fed uses to gauge inflation. So 0.3% is what they're expecting for the major one, which is core PCE. That's on par with last time. So last time it was 0.3. This time they're expecting 0.3. Apple gapping down substantially this morning. Let's see a core PCE. NVIDIA earnings Wednesday as well. Yeah, so we're going to do the Fed minutes report, and then we're just going to parry into the NVIDIA earnings. NVIDIA's Wednesday's definitely the busiest day for us, for sure. Wednesday's going to be the busiest day. We're going to have the Fed minutes report at 2 p.m. It actually kind of works out perfectly because we're going to do the Fed minutes report, and then we're just going to go immediately to NVIDIA earnings. So... Was I born on the bayou? No. I was born in Baton Rouge, though. But not really on the bayou. I was born in a hospital, sir. No. No, I was born in Baton Rouge. Yeah, but Ronald, I think one of the things you're getting wrong here is that you're assuming that there's more short traders. Uh, and I don't know if that's necessarily true. Regardless of whether your metrics say that retail is 70% bearish, that certainly doesn't mean, even if that is accurate, that certainly doesn't mean that retail is short. It probably just means that they're not long. They're less likely to go long, you know. My coffee's all right. It's not the best. Weeble has 10,000 votes on SPY, 74% bearish. Where do you see that? Kathy says Tesla will be $2,000 in 5 years. Maybe. I think the Cybertruck will break records. I forgot to post that video too. Let me post that. But yeah, man. I'm starting to learn that I just want to keep let's see. So all right, guys. All right, so yeah, I posted I guess I'll post this on Twitter too. But yeah, again, I think that Cybertruck's going to break records for a few different reasons. Mainly because they've extended it so long. Yeah, they're not going to miss. Again, they're going to get the deal done. Hey, thank you, B10. Hey, thank you, brother. But yeah, so I think the Cybertruck's going to break records. And again, listen, I'm not the biggest Tesla fanboy. I'm really not. I'm not one of those Tesla fanboys that just kind of supports everything that Elon does and Elon says. And that's definitely not me. But I still think the Cybertruck's going to break records. It's going to be bulletproof, float on water, pretty fast, great truck towing capacity. And they've delayed it and made people wait for it for years. And so I think when it finally goes live, it's going to be such a shock. Everybody's going to buy one and it's going to break sales records. I think, personally, myself. Remember me saying this. I think that's going to happen. I might be wrong. But yeah, I'd rather them not push political stuff, Chris. Like I really would. Like I'm not a big politics guy, man. I think people get wrapped up in it. I get, especially like with stuff like this. Like this is just election season stuff. It's typical for both sides. Like it's not like what I mean. I get why one's like like again. I don't root for my political team. I don't have one really. Like it's my football team. Like I don't care about the politics of anything. I look at policy mostly and ignore all the other sensationalized nonsense that we get from politics and just avoid it as much as I can. It's just not really, not really something I want to do with my life. Uh, what are you a fan of? I like Tesla cars, bro. Listen, I'm kind of like I like Tesla cars. All right. I'll probably buy a Cybertruck too. So I'm not. It's not like I'm a Tesla hater. Okay, I just said like I'm not one of those people that just blindly supports anything. You know what I mean? But with that said, I think Tesla's going to break records. Disney a buy at 75. I mean, I think it would be. Now, whether Disney will hit 75 is a completely different story, but I think it will be. But yeah, it's nothing against Ben. Ben was a great guest, but I think I'm gonna ride solo on stream. It's nothing against Ben. It's not even his fault, but like over the years, man, I've just kind of learned having guests on stream are just stressful. It's just stressful, you know. Um, like a lot of the time, what happens, and this isn't even Ben, but like a lot of the time, what happens is like I'll let guests come on stream, and they get like addicted to coming on stream, and then they want to come on stream every day, and then eventually I have to tell them no. And like I think if you've never streamed before, it can be kind of like an exciting, like exhilarating thing. Um, and I've been doing it for 6 years. Uh, and so I don't have that excitement, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep it. It's just easy and more peaceful. I think there's gonna be something huge coming soon. Solo show is better. Yeah, thanks, man. And again, nothing against any of the guests I've had over the years. I just kind of slowly learned it's just easier to just not, you know. Neo, I think Neo's interesting. I mean, I think it's got the overseas market, but I think it's struggled lately. Yeah, and again, like some of the weirdness with like the bots and like the fake accounts coming here saying the same thing, like bunched together, all of a sudden at once, were incredibly weird. It was super weird to me. I don't know if whoever sent the bots or sent the alt accounts or did the alt accounts would realize it would be so obvious, and so that's my guess. But it was super obvious, you know. Um, and so it's unfortunate, but like, and again, honestly, maybe if they were just pumping Ben up, I wouldn't have even noticed. But when they're all simultaneously pumping Ben and trashing me, you know, then it becomes fairly obvious. And so, hey, well, good luck on Island Time. I hope you make some money, man. AMC, we're in AMC. We've been in it. AMC's pretty flat though, man. I mean, the dilution is what's hurt AMC here. You can see AMC is look how this thing's like barcoding, man. It's just not moving that much anymore. It's too many shares out there, you know. But I'm gonna stay in it. I mean, I don't have any reason to sell it. So I'm just gonna sit in this one. Baba Long. Yeah, Baba dropped earnings last week. There might be an argument for a dip in this. I mean, it's down to $80. I don't know about it for me, but there might be an argument there. What are you guys playing today? What's that? Ape Father, what is that? SK, what is that? All oil. What's the oil ETF? It's /CL, right? Yeah, sweet crude oil. 100% cash right now. I got some swings. I'm in Disney still, but I took a lot of it off. And so I'm basically out of most of Disney. I'm still in PayPal as well. We're down on PayPal, but again, I think I'll probably just let that ride. We're in gold as well. We're in Disney. We're in AMC. We're in Tesla still, and Tesla's still green on the day. Hey, good luck, Steve. Even if market crashes for a few days, tech is up so much this year, won't make much of a dent. We are due for a correction. This is healthy. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. I don't know if a crash is something that we should necessarily expect here, but I think we're up a lot over the last 6 months. And I think, but I think, to be honest, though, I think the other, and again, the market is something where we simply have to look at probabilities here. Okay. So like we have to look at probabilities, right? So I'm not saying you're wrong. And I can certainly understand that argument for like needing a correction. And I somewhat agree to that. All right. But I think another way you have to look at it as well is that prior to this, the market was down a lot over the last year and a half. Like over the last year and a half, the market's pulled back heavily. And so in that regard, on a broader, looking at it in a more broader sense, I think there could be the same argument in terms of extension for the downside. I think we could have pulled back so much over the last year and a half that we're kind of making back up some of those gains on the upside. If you look at the SPY, for instance, here over a weekly chart, we've been basically downtrending since 21. Since early 2022. So we've been downtrending for like a year and a half now. And so at a certain point, I think the market wants to bounce back. At a certain point, I think the market wants to move back up. The market wants to keep going. And yeah, we'll see. But like I said, we've kind of been in this downtrend now for years. And so I think us bouncing back, it's not like, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not like the market is just breaking highs like up here. That's not what the market's doing. The market is just bouncing back from this big drop that we've been in for the last few years. And so in that regard, it could be extension on the downside that we're kind of popping back up from. Space. Hey, when's the investor event franchise? Is it today? Is it JP? Is it Investor Day? Oh, snap, it is today. So they're going to present at the Morgan Stanley U.S. Financials Payment and CRE Conference. But Investor Day is today at 8 a.m., man. Should we watch that? I mean, I could stream it if you guys want me to. Let me look up. It's all going to depend on what kind of volume this gets. So like Tesla Investor Day generally gets some hype, but like JPMorgan, I mean, we could try to watch it, but only imagine that JPMorgan goes up from this, right? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna stream this. No offense to anybody here, really. It's not that. It's just like I don't think this is gonna get that many viewers. Yeah, I can agree. We're in a crab market. SoFi Pac West. Best bearish argument is that we are up 60% from the lows, which is either the recession we avoided entirely or the recession we have delayed for now. 100%. Yeah, it's going to be boring. That's probably why I'm not going to stream that. Again, SPY pulling back a little bit, though, here. I guess the question is there an argument for JPMorgan this morning? I mean, we got the investor day. Part of me wants to just buy like a little piece of this. I'm gonna buy a little piece of this here. Once I can. I gotta wait a few minutes before I can, but I'm gonna buy a little piece of this once I can. SPY down, but pretty flat. Market's been running up a lot. ENPH bottom. What is ENPH? This is oil, right? ENPH. Yeah, I mean JPMorgan is a legit company for sure. It's the biggest bank stock. Great dividend. How much is the JPMorgan dividend? All right, guys. All right, guys. So yeah, Tesla gapping up today, but pulling back a little bit short term here. We are holding some Tesla here. We did buy some Tesla a couple days ago, and we're just kind of sitting on it now. We only got a little piece of this left because we've already made money on it, so we're not really super concerned about it either way. But yeah, 4 minutes. Is there a way for the market cap of a company to be below the sum of their assets? Well, yeah. Assets are different than market cap. Market cap is just price times shares. You know, they could own other stuff that doesn't have anything to do with their share price. But yeah, ENVA is a little slow. Again, we might buy just a small piece of JP Morgan just in case we get some action. What's up, Pawn? Hey, good morning, man. All right, guys. All right, guys. Let me get Tesla up there, Spy up there, AMC trying to move here. Anything else moving today, guys? Y'all have any other news today? I mean, I'm looking at market news. I don't see anything. All right, so crypto trading exchange Hotbit said it ended all centralized exchange operations, citing deteriorating operating conditions and changes in the broader crypto landscape, according to Coinbase. So, Hotbit. I've never used it, heard of it, but has anybody heard of it or used of it? All right, so JPMorgan raises their 2023 net interest income view to $84 billion. Previously, it was guiding for 81 billion, market dependent. So it's up a little bit from there. Ford maintains guidance of about 9 to 11 billion in adjusted EBIT, which is earnings before interest and taxes, and around 6 billion in FCF. Sees a fiscal year loss of around 3 billion for startup model Ford E. Will announce new battery raw material definitive agreements soon. Yeah, Jay. I mean, one of my biggest trading strategies, and I talk about this a lot, is I typically kind of wait for big, large pullbacks to jump on. Ford is up, is it? I don't mind Ford down here. I mean, I think Ford is always going to be okay, but I'm going to buy a little bit of my JP Morgan trade here if I can get in. Ah, dude, I want to buy it, and then... All right, we're in 10 shares of Ford. We'll give it some time. You know, we jumped in a piece. Meta down 1.5%. Let me check out the news here. I know they were trying to build like a TT clone for Meta. A lot of people were skeptical in it and didn't think they should, but I know that's what one of the things that they were talking about was building a TT clone. All right, so Meta stock is down after the EU slaps them with a $1.3 billion penalty, which is a record, the biggest penalty ever for data privacy violations. Meta fined 1.3 billion over data transfers to US. So that's kind of dropping the market here if you look at Meta right now. Meta gapping down to 242s here. So Meta. Meta fined a little bit, and that's kind of big news. It's taking over the market, but yeah, they're fined 1.5 billion. That's kind of dragging the market down some, but hey, what's up, mister? Market needs to crash. I have many puts. Hey, good luck, man. Hey. All right, you can just listen. Don't get anywhere near the cords, and so you need to make a clear effort to avoid the cords in here, okay? All right. Sorry, my daughter's in here. I'm trying to print some stuff. What's up, Ricky? Yeah, I don't know, man. The JPMorgan chart, it's a little outside of how I trade. Like I'm usually looking for discounts. Like that's one of the universal, like one of the things I look for in all my trades, like universally, is I look for extension on the downside. I'm looking for discounts mostly. So I'm trying to buy up pullbacks, like weakness. So I'll look for big pullbacks and weakness, and then I'll buy those up, and then I'll just kind of wait and patiently ride those back. New 6 billion emission standard for cars takes effect on July 1st, causing panic among sellers. Yeah, that will cause an EV boost. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like if you look at the muscle car history, right? If you look at the history of muscle cars, I'm a big car guy. I love cars. What would happen basically throughout all this is that is that if you look at when they started making muscle cars, like the prime age for a muscle car, like the ideal muscle cars to get are late 60s, like 68, 69, 67 sometimes. That's sometimes a little bit too early, but sometimes the 67 one. So those are like the peak muscle cars. Like you get a 68 Mustang or 69 Mustang or 68 Camaro or 68, GT or whatever you want to get, right? Those are all cool cars. Now, once you get into the 70s, they started to add some restrictions. And so the mid 70s, mid 80s muscle cars are just not cool at all. They're cool, but they're slow. They're not as cool as the ones in the late 60s, early 70s. And so once you hit mid 70s to like mid 80s, the restrictions caused just worse cars. So like that, the peak age for muscle cars is like late 60s. That's why you always see somebody wanting like a 1968, 1969, Mustang, 1968, 1969 Camaro. Those are the big ones, and so we'll see if that kind of happens in the future with this. Like we'll see if people look back on this age with EV restrictions and stuff like that, and they but I think EVs are, I think EVs are faster than cars now. I think one of the big things, like the big elephants in the room right now with regards to like racing and cars and like drag racing is that EVs are just more efficient and fast. They're faster, A Tesla is faster than 95% of everything else on the road. 95%, easily 95%, probably more than that if you strip it down and make it even faster. Stock Tesla, it's gonna be faster than 95% of everything on the road. You go to the drag strip. If you strip a Tesla down and take all of the heavy parts of a Tesla off and you drag race that thing, it's gonna be faster than a majority of the cars on the strip. So it's something that's changing the game for cars. Like people don't understand and like why EV is getting so much hype. They're getting hype because they're just fast, man. They're more efficient. You can make them faster, and they're silently fast too. So it's a cool part of it. But yeah. People look back on this age with EV restrictions and stuff like that. The big elephants in the room right now with regard. All right. So, and yeah, Tesla pulling back a little bit now. Yeah, Tesla Plaid. Dude, the Tesla Plaid is obscenely fast, Chuck. That thing is so fast, man. It's almost scary fast. Like, would I buy my kid a Tesla? Absolutely not. You know? Sorry, Maddie. You're in here. You're never getting a Tesla. I'm not buying you one. And the reason I'm not is because the Tesla is too fast. That thing is too fast. The Tesla Plaid runs 9-second quarter mile. Like, to give you some perspective here, like a really fast car in the 90s and 2000s ran a 15-second, 14-second, like 14 or 15-second quarter mile. Like the fastest stock cars, like the cars that came stock with speed and power, the fastest ones would run like 13s, 14s, 15s, right? The fastest ones, the ones everybody wanted. I wanted a Subaru WRX STI when I was young. And I wanted it because it ran like a 14-second quarter mile stock, you know? Now imagine 9 seconds. Like that's a drag car. You know, you put that in the hands of a teenager. That's kind of dangerous, man. Like I'm not trying to have my kids drive that. No, and I can't grab it either because it's right here. I mean, what kind? Just printing paper? All right. Yeah, I believe it's safe, but the problem is not. Yeah. Again, somebody said the fastest car on the road. I believe you, right? I think they're really fast. But or I think they're really safe as well. So I think they're safe. But the problem is that you put even if they're not trying to, right? Like even if like say a teenager's driving that, even if they're not trying to drive fast, teenagers don't have the best control of their foot, if that makes sense, right? Like you have to learn to ease into that power. 9-second flat quarter mile stock car, you got to ease into that pedal. Like you can't accidentally, like you see people all the time, people that don't know how to drive, they try to look cool. They floor the gas going around a turn. And what do is they run into a ditch or they run into another car trying to look cool because they don't know how to drive. They don't know, their foot isn't conditioned to drive the correct way around a corner. And so I feel like if you put that type of car, a 9-second flat quarter mile car, to a young person, they're going to wreck that thing, you know, and it's going to be dangerous. Again, I'm not getting my kid one. Doesn't matter how much money I make or anything like that. My kid ain't getting a Tesla, you know. Yeah. All cars are fast? No, they're not. I mean, all the Tesla cars are pretty quick, but all right, guys. So yeah, look at Tesla turn here. So Tesla, speaking of all this, is just dropped under the previous closing price. This might be some news related. So maybe some news came out. Let's see if we can find anything here. But Tesla's starting to break under the previous closing price, technically red on the day. The Fed's Kashkari says that they're not seeing evidence yet that the banking stress is doing our work for us on inflation. The June meeting is a close call, according to CNBC. My guess is in terms of whether they want to pause or raise rates again. Kashkari says that they're not seeing evidence that the banking stress. Yeah, so was above 5.25% in March. SEPs may need to go north of 6%, but it's not clear. Get him a truck. Yeah, I will. Yeah, my kids are driving a truck. Yeah, you're getting a truck too. Yeah, kids are getting trucks. You know, we're in Texas though, so I mean, y'all have to understand. We're gonna like the likelihood, like if you get into an accident here, it's very probable that you're gonna get into an accident with another truck because there's so many trucks out here. So it's like if everybody else is in a truck, I want my kids to be driving a truck too. All right, you done? All right, I love you. Have a good day. Yeah. All right, guys. Tesla dipped under the previous closing price, and now it's bouncing all the way back here. It's up to 180s now. 180s. All right, guys. Again, Tesla rejecting at that previous closing price. The SPY bounced up a little bit, but Tesla looking weak right now. All right, so again, we bought a little bit of yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, what was his name? The guy from Fast and Furious. Hey, what's up, Roderick? Hey, good morning, man. Hope y'all are doing good this morning. Paul Walker. Yeah. Rest in peace, man. That was sad. I grew up on the Fast and Furious movies. I really did. So Tesla still under the previous closing prices at 180s. Like the first Fast and Furious movie came out in a really influential part of my life when I was really young, and so that's what got me into cars. Was the first Fast and Furious movie. Tuner cars mostly. Like JDM, I had a Prelude, and my friends had like GSRs. One of them had a Type R. But that's really the movie that got me into cars. I've said it before though. I'll say it again. The first Fast and the Furious movie was very realistic to street racing culture. Very realistic. They got a lot of things right. Very realistic. Most street racing is done on a quarter mile strip. Very, very realistic. A lot of tuner, guys loved it. And ultimately, it was just realistic to street racing culture. Now, anything after the first one started to be absolutely ridiculous. Like, completely went from a realistic movie about street racing culture to just crazy nonsense. Fire coming out of the exhaust every time they hit the gas. they're shifting like 20 times, you know what I mean? And it's just absolutely ridiculous after the first one. They're doing these huge jumps, and then just their car is completely fine afterwards. It was just ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous after the first one. And then they changed directors is what happened. So like the first director was like realistic. After that, it just became crazy ridiculous. And then they got more and more ridiculous as time went on, to the point now where they're doing, where they're doing all this crazy stuff in the Fast and Furious movies. I haven't been able to watch the last few because they're just too far out there. But hey, some people like it. I'm not hating, If they're making money with their movies, let them make their money. I'm all for it, But yeah, it's kind of how it goes, I guess. Guys loved it, and ultimately it was just realistic to street racing culture. Now anything after the strip, very, very realistic. A lot of tuner. Here, hold on. They got a lot of things. Was very real. The first Fast and the Furious movie. All right, there you go. Sorry, I had to check that. All right, so we'll look at Tesla bouncing back up here. So Tesla bouncing back up some. Time for bonds. I don't know. I think the Cybertruck's going to break records. Yeah, I remember the Lotus. I had a picture of a Lotus on my wall, So I had a picture of the yellow Lotus car. I had a Michael Jordan picture on my wall when I was a kid. I had the Michael Jordan dunk picture where he was doing the jump man. And then I had a picture of a yellow Lotus on my wall as a young kid. Foot Locker, man. We talked about Foot Locker last week, man. I'm skeptical of Foot Locker. I think Champs, I think JD are all kind of eating Foot Locker's lunch. I think that Champs, JD, and other in-store brands are getting more appeal to the youth, modern day. And I think that a lot of kids and people in general are just buying their sneakers online now. And so you don't need to go to Foot Locker anymore. I think all of those things combined means that Foot Locker is going to trend down for the next decade or so before going out of business, is my guess. But maybe I'm wrong. But I think that's probably what's going to happen. I think people are just buying shoes online now, to where they don't need to go to a Foot Locker anymore and buy sneakers. They can buy it online. They can get exactly what they want online. They can customize it to what they want online. They just don't need to go to Foot Locker anymore. And then a lot of the time when they go to the mall, they're not going to Foot Locker anyway. They're going to Champs, or they're going to JD, or they're going to one of the other kind of like boutique sneaker stores that have like way more assortment of their stuff. And so I think it's all bad for Foot Locker. Oh, is Champs Foot Locker? Yeah. I mean, regardless of that, even if that's true, I didn't know that, to be honest. So again, I might be wildly wrong about this. Again, I don't know. I'm just kind of speculating based off of what I know. But even if Champs is Foot Locker, I think Foot Locker is still going to struggle. Because I think online, again, I know for myself personally, that I can go online and buy exactly the type of shoes I want, on like StockX or something like that, and get exactly what I want, tested for make sure it's real, and I can ultimately see what prices are, all that stuff. I think there's lately, the last 10 years, there's been a big rise in sneaker sellers and like sneaker businesses, like kids starting their own sneaker businesses, buying up inventory, selling them, kind of flipping shoes, if you will. And that's become huge over the last decade. And I think that's bad for Foot Locker. I think obviously it's kind of like people aren't going to go to Foot Locker if they can buy their sneaker from everybody. If everybody's selling sneakers online and they can find the exact sneakers they want and buy them, they're not going to go to Foot Locker. So I think it's bad. Irregardless? Who said irregardless? It wasn't me. Never will I say irregardless. That's my pet peeve word. I like DCs. And a Lotus, Chris? Yeah, online has more stuff available for sure. According to the latest estimates, the average professional poker player in the U.S. makes $21 an hour. Yeah. Kathy Wood says Tesla is the, quote, biggest AI play out there. Man, Christopher Lloyd, my guy's still around, man. Back to the Future. What a goat, man. Again, we bought a little bit of JPMorgan today. Remember, JPMorgan has their AI day today. So AI day for JPMorgan is today. Yeah, I'm not like, I like sneakers, but I'm definitely not a sneaker seller. Like I like Air Maxes. Like I don't really buy Jordans. Jordans are just too expensive. And I'm one of those people that get shoes dirty quick. Like growing up, I always had people like I would buy cool shoes and people would be like, "Ooh, I like your shoes," and then the next day they'd be dirty and they'd be like, "Hey, what happened?" I'd be like, you know, like I'm not one of those people that can really like keep my shoes pristine at all. Like my shoes are dirty within a day or two of buying them, man. You know, again, it's definitely not for me either. You know, but I can kind of see it happen. You know. PacWest agrees to sell 2.6 billion of loans as it slims down to the core business. I like Air Maxes. Mostly, what I wear a mix of Air Maxes and what are the boat shoes? Sperry's. I know it's kind of like nerd shoes, but I wear a lot of Sperry's around the house because I can slip them on. They're pretty indestructible. I can slip them on. They're straight leather. They're comfortable to wear anywhere. I can wear them walking. I can wear them running. I can wear them walking around the house. So I'll wear like Sperry's, you know, a lot. They're kind of boat shoes is what they are. It's ironic because I can't get on a boat at all. You know. If you don't know what I'm talking about like these right here. Like I've got these that I wear. You know, because I could just slide them on, man. I could slide them on. I could wear them with jeans if I want. I can wear them with shorts. I just kind of slide them on and let it work. Tesla breaking lows of pre-market down to 179.80s here, kind of correcting back down some. So, but Tesla had a pretty big few day run here. Tesla, if we zoom out, Tesla went from like 160s all the way up to 180s over the last few days. So that's nice to see. What happened with Nike? Yeah, Meta again find billions of dollars here, gapping down today. So Williams downgraded Nike to sell from hold, lowest price target from 95 or to 95 from 120. What's the hit piece though? I mean, Nike may have misclassified independent contractors, might reportedly face $530 million in fines. So it says, quote, Nike may have misclassified thousands of independent contractors, leaving it open to potentially face total fines of more than 530 million in several countries and possible class action suits. The Guardian reported on Friday, citing a July 2022 review of Nike's independent contractors in the US, UK, Netherlands, and Belgium. The report, which was compiled by Workforce Services Specialist People 2.0, the report essentially found that 1/4 of 3,670 entities dealing with Nike in the U.S. may have been wrongly dubbed independent contractors, making the company liable potentially to pay almost $300 million in the U.S. alone. So that's the bad news that came out with Nike here. If we look up Nike, Nike down to 113 here, gapping down here. So again, Nike over the last 20 days has been on a pretty big dump down. If it continues to drop, I might buy it up, but we gotta wait, I think, on that. All right, so Tesla consolidating right under that previous closing price. We're at about 180 right now. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, dude, I don't care. I don't care what anybody calls me for wearing Sperry's, bro. They're comfortable, dude. I wear what's comfortable. I don't really care about what, people think anyway, I mean, I care what people think. Everybody cares what people think, So I kind of hate the saying because people will be like, I don't care at all what people think. It's like, oh, you don't care at all? And it's like, if you don't care at all, why not just dress in cardboard? Like, of course you care. Like, everybody cares a little bit. The people who act like they care the least actually care the most. But regardless, Sperry's are comfortable, man. Like, they're comfortable. Like, that's why I wear them. I wear Sperry's and flip-flops everywhere. And people can make fun, and that's okay. I'll wear Air Maxes, too, and sneakers, too. But my guess is they call them snooty because they're boat shoes. I don't even have a boat. I get so seasick, I couldn't even get a boat if I wanted one. But hey. Yeah, Crocs, I can't do Crocs, man. Like, if I wear Crocs, if I wear Crocs outside, I feel like I'm too young to be doing so. My kids wear Crocs, though. My kids love Crocs. Does advertising matter for Tesla? Word of mouth is king, and they're king of it. Well, it depends on what advertising. I think they need to advertise their cars. I think their cars are status symbols, and then this is why another reason I think I think Tesla is going to break records is because I think Tesla cars are status symbols, and I think people are going to want to buy them because it's a status symbol. Now, I think after the craziness of like Musk and Twitter and all that stuff, I think they're a little bit less of a status symbol now, but they're still status symbols. I also think the Cybertruck is very different looking. So one of the big things is like the Cybertruck just looks different. Regardless of whether people like it or hate it, again, I've said this many times. Tesla popping right back over the previous closing price, so it's now at 180s now for Tesla. Tesla over 180s now, at 180.20 or so. But yeah, so 2 years ago, when you saw a Tesla, you went, ooh, it's a Tesla, because it was so rare to see, and everybody kind of knew about Tesla, but they were rare. Now I walk outside, I see 30 Teslas driving down the street, and so I think they're less of a status symbol now. But one thing I think the Cybertruck is going to change is that, because Cybertruck looks so different that when it comes out, people are going to want to be seen with it because it's such a different design. And so because it's so different, because it looks like a Mars rover, it's going to bring that back. Where you walk outside, you see a Cybertruck, you're going to be like, ooh, look, a Cybertruck. And I think that'll make it break records because I think, human nature is people want to be seen. Tesla popping back up, SPY ripping back up as well. Let me see if we figure out a reason for this, but look at the SPY rip. Tesla all the way back up to 180.60s here, about to hit the VWAP in the 200 moving average. Yeah. Yeah, just whatever's comfortable, you know. Uh, that's what I wear. Whatever's comfortable. I mean, where I live, it matters less because everybody's kind of snooty here, you know. Unfortunately, and so I kind of wear them because I have to. You know, I would wear sneakers more, I think, but like my kids go to school and like just where I live, it's just kind of different, man. But yeah, Tesla up to 180.50s here. Spy up to 418s. Nike at 113s. All right, so we did buy some JPMorgan here, and again, we'll see if this holds. You can play count the Teslas, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I still think when Grand Theft Auto, the new one, comes out, it's gonna go crazy. You know, the problem is they're just taking so long for it, man. And I think they're just kind of living life when they get that much funding, and understandably so. I mean, it's the most successful game ever. Trading is a dream job for an introvert. All right, guys. MU banned in China. Why are you saying that? Who said that? V. Do you have any actual proof of that? Oh, I get it, beach bum. Don't wear shoes, bro. Most of the time, I don't wear shoes either. And now this big thing about what is it called? Footing, or what is it called? What's it called? Where like they think that like the grounding is what it's called. They think the ground gives you energy. I wear barefoot all the time. Like the calluses on my feet are so big, I can walk. Like we have these rocks in my backyard where they're like really kind of jagged, like gravel rocks, and like none of my family can walk on them, and like I can walk on them very easily, and I don't feel a thing. You know, I've got circulation problems in my foot. That's probably why. But point is, I've walked around barefoot my whole life, everywhere. You know, I only wear shoes if I'm leaving the house. Anywhere else, I never wear shoes. Grounding, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, most are gonna. Yeah, I don't think we necessarily have to look at it as like a competitor to the internal combustion engine. Straight. I think that both can be around happily in harmony with each other. Um, I think over the next 20 years, EV is going to be much bigger and it's going to take over everything. But I think we still got some time before it does. I think Tesla is just kind of the initial jump start of that. I need to get a Keurig in here. Um, No, not that one, Paulo. Somebody said something about. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, one of the things I think these bot attacks, like whoever sent them, wanted me to believe they were real. What I think the person doesn't realize is that I can go back and look at the entire chat history, look at exactly what was said. I got timestamps for it. Um, all right, guys, there goes Tesla popping up. Hey, let's see if Tesla holds. All right, guys. So again, JPMorgan at 139.60s here, 139.60s for JP. We bought a little bit of that. They do have their investor day conference today. I don't think it's going to be big enough to really make it worthwhile to watch, though. Maybe they'll say something interesting, but lots of news about the debt ceiling. Yeah, there's a lot of it here. Yeah, didn't I see Shiba start to run this morning? Yeah, so Shiba popped up today. Not a huge pop, but it's just down so much over the last all-time high, man. And again, I just saw so many cryptos come out and say they were going to be the next big thing, and most of them failed. Which stock franchise? Yeah, another thing about not having guests is that I can interact with the chat a lot more. Somebody else said that as well. They were like, "Hey, you talk to the chat a lot more when there's no guests," and I think they're right. It's just easier for me not to have guests on the show. And it's nothing against any of the guests I have on, man. It really isn't. It's just something that, like, again, if bringing guests on has people creating alt accounts and trashing me and praising those guests. And again, they were certainly attacks. Like they all came in one point. It was just kind of suspect. And again, if they were just praising the guest, it would be fine. I probably wouldn't have noticed. But if they were whoever sent them, and again, I'm not even going to speculate on who would send those bots praising the guests and trashing me. But whoever sent them, for whatever reason, they must have been a little bit insecure about me. And they let that slip out, and that made me, just kind of weird. Yeah, maybe every now and then, Sam. But again, it's just easier not to have guests. Yeah, so we do have JPMorgan for Investor Day. It'll probably make the stock move. We bought a little bit of JPMorgan as well here, so we did buy some JPMorgan. Yeah, I'm good. Again, it's just easier not to have guests. The only guest I would probably allow to come on the show now, maybe like Mitch from Benzinga. He's a friend of mine. So like Money Mitch. The only guests I would probably allow to come on the show are like other YouTubers, maybe, if they wanted to come on. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've liked most, but each have brought their own problems. Yeah, for sure. And again, I'm not complaining about it. We're just kind of talking about it here because we're just kind of watching the market, talking about things. But yeah. Again, one of the problems with guests when I bring them on the show is like, again, I think when you first start streaming, it can be like an exhilarating, exciting thing. I think if you've never streamed before, it can be like exciting and exhilarating. And I think bringing people on the show, I think sometimes they become addicted to that. Where it's like I've been doing this every day for 6 or 7 years, and I think it feels really good sometimes to get that validation. And so I think sometimes they become desperate to come back on the show. And that makes them do certain things that just makes me not want to have guests on at all. It's just easier, again, and I don't want to I don't know, it's just hard to explain. It's just more peaceful, and it's easier for me to manage, you know what I mean? Yeah, Mitch is great. Yeah, for sure, Chris, 100%, man. Nothing happened. Yeah, nothing happened. Well, I mean, what happened was that we brought some guests on the show. You know, Ben was great. Ben was great. But we brought guests on the show, and then when those guests would come on the show, we would get these weird bot alt accounts that praised the guests. They just talked about how great the guests were, and they trashed me. And they would all happen. And again, I tracked them. I have a dashboard where I can look up all the comments, and so I would track them. And I thought they were incredibly suspicious. Again, the way I explained it is like, what are the odds that 7 people would show up exactly the same time and say exactly the same thing, phrased slightly differently, completely independent to each other? I think the odds of that are incredibly low. And so I think the odds that that's a fake account, that's either a person logging in and logging back out of fake accounts, or that somebody's sending me nonsense. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was odd. You know what I mean? It was odd. And again, I think some people might be naive to the internet to where they don't realize how obvious it is. You know what I mean? Um, and so, like I said, if I start getting stuff like that, yeah, my initial reaction is just going to be, all right, well, guess was fun, but I'm just going to keep it just me from now on. And again, I think I interact with the chat a little bit better when there's no guest anyway. I think it gives me somebody to kind of talk to. And. Yeah, again, if they were people, if the people saying it were regulars here, that would be completely different, of course. Again, I want to have valuable guests on the show. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to have valuable guests on the show. Having good guests on the show is good for me, regardless of how they feel about me, right? But none of them have ever said anything like the suspicious comments. None of them had ever said a word here before, and so it was something like we get a bunch of people showing up that never said a word here before, saying the same thing, phrased slightly differently, praising the guest and trashing me. And so, yeah, that's suspect for sure. Yeah. Oh, new is relative, you know. Yeah, or how easy it is to figure out for sure. Yeah, you get an email. Yeah, it's kind of how it goes. We're almost break even in our JPMorgan trade, though. We're almost break even in our JPMorgan trade. Again, JPMorgan almost to 140 now, almost to 140. We'll see if it holds. Again, I bought a little bit of JPMorgan. They have their investor day going live. It's almost, I think it starts at 8 a.m., which is in about 12 minutes. We're not going to stream it. I don't think it's necessarily big enough to stream, but what it might do is bring some volatility. Yeah, Joel's still around, I think, Chris. I think he's still streaming, you know. Him and I aren't necessarily working together anymore because, again, one of my rules is like, I don't, if somebody starts streaming for themselves, especially at the same times that I'll stream, I usually stop promoting them because they kind of turn into competitors. And I've had a lot of people over the years that have wanted to come on my stream and then stop coming on my stream and try to basically compete with me directly afterwards. And so over time, I just realized it's not really worth it um, to do. But I wish him the best. I really do. There's no hard feelings here. I hope he succeeds. I really do. You know. Yeah, JPMorgan. We'll see if it holds. Nah, I'm good on that, Sam. The trading community is not really the most friendly with each other, I think, sometimes, regardless of sponsors. And so, you know, I'm good, man. You know. What'd you get filled? I got filled at 139.70 is my average. 139.70. It's not a huge position. I just bought a little bit this morning. It's not like I'm buying whale positions or anything, you know. WLGS. Yeah, I've never heard about this. It's a penny stock. I'm skeptical. I don't really buy up penny stocks, you know. Apple looking really weak today. Why is Apple dropping? Does anybody know? Apple down a lot. Look at Apple. There's Nike. Here's Meta. Meta getting really weak too. Is there an argument for a dip buy in Meta? Again, I'm looking up Apple to see if we have some Apple news here. Big Tech still has power to Loop Capital downgrades Apple to a hold, announces $180 price target. Yeah, so MU was banned overseas, y'all said? That's pretty big news for microchips. Good for NVIDIA, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, MU all the way down to 64. I'm surprised that news not dropping it more. NVIDIA gapping down some too. Yeah, so downgraded them. So yeah, that's what I figured, but yeah, for sure. You do well by yourself. You just got to remind Carol. Yeah, Carol seems to call me right at market open, and you know, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, I think what happens is like, again, I think what happens is like people, like I started beginner trading like 6 years ago, you know, and so at this point, like I'm not giving equity in beginner trading to anybody, you know, like anybody. You know, nobody's getting equity here. And if anybody else was me, they wouldn't either. You know, like, again, I can run this community completely by myself. And we get better views than a lot of the big networks, you know. Sometimes it depends on what it is. Like maybe like when with big market catalysts, we do, you know. And that's for me running it basically by myself. I have mods, like Pawn's my best mod. He's a great dude. And him and I are working on some business stuff outside of it. But it's like, I don't think I'll ever give equity in beginner trading to anybody. It's just too much hassle, you know. It's just not worth it. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of people think they might be able to like come in and like get equity from me. Like I'm, you know, I act really passive at first, but I don't know. Top 3 ever? Yeah, definitely top 3 for sure. Yeah, MU, man, it's down. I'm surprised MU's not down more. You know, MU down at 65. Yeah, I hope we all make money. But yeah, if it got banned overseas, I'm surprised it's not down more. So SPY just went green on the day. So you can see this previous closing price, right? That's the level at which it goes from red to green, green to red. SPY just went green on the day. Tesla popping up over the volume weighted average price here. So again, we'll see if it holds. Yeah, so there's a China ban. So China's cyberspace regulator said the company's products has failed its network security review for MU. And that doesn't mean they're not going to change, like, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm friendly with a lot of good guys. Like Relentless Trader, he's cool with the channel. He's a friend of the channel. Bulldog Trading, he's a friend of the channel. Like Benzinga and like Money Mitch specifically are friends of the channel, like personal friend of mine. And so I'm friendly with other channels, and they got some great content too. Like I like to stay friendly with all of them. But I think the stock market niche is kind of a competitive niche, right? I think there's a lot of egos floating around here that kind of make people compete, and it is what it is. I usually just prefer to just kind of run my little channel. You know what I mean? Um, I don't try to like disparage anybody's name or anything like that. I usually just try to stay neutral and stuff like that. But it happens when you run something for 6 years. Stuff's gonna come out, and drama's gonna start, and it's all good. It happens. The fundamentals of NU have changed. Yeah, MU looking weak right now. Meta getting fine too, but Meta's actually rebounding a little bit back from it. SPY went green here. Apple's still pretty far down. Microsoft is now technically green as well. Yeah, what's dragging the market up? You can see the market popped back green. I'm looking at what is causing the market bounce here. Nvidia's bouncing back a little bit. Microsoft is still technically green, but not much. The big tear we've had lately is Google. Google has flown over the last couple weeks. Huge run-ups. Very strong for Google lately. Up to almost 124s right now. So just huge moves here in the market. PLTR. Yeah, Palantir. It's had a pretty big run. Yeah, Palantir up to 12s here. Highs is 1240s. It's at 1160s right now, right under 12s. Again, I'm trying to see what popped the market back up. I see Meta rebounding a little bit here. So here's Meta on the right. And again, they're getting sued. Is the reason they're down. So they're down to 235.50s. They're getting sued. If you look at the Meta news, again, Meta is fined 1.3 billion by Ireland's Data Protection Commission over transfers of EU user data to the US. So here's the news here. Wait, when was Investor Day for Google? I missed some of that stuff. I should start streaming those. Yeah, for sure, Pawn, 100%, man. I try to stay neutral. Sometimes I get dragged into it, but some of the biggest haters are like failed YouTubers too. Like for whatever reason, man. Like over the years, a lot of the people that are like the biggest like secret haters are like failed YouTubers, like YouTubers that have tried and like not succeeded. They're some of the biggest haters, and they'll justify it in other ways and blame it on other stuff. But most of the time, they're just bummed out that they didn't do it, and they let their stuff come out. But Google again, 124 it's too high for me to buy it here, man. But it is up a lot. Look at a daily chart on Google here. So look at a daily chart on Google. Google is very nicely green on the year now. It went from 83.40s back in November all the way to 130s. So a huge run. Huge run. Hey, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. He said that's the main reason I've continued to watch for the last 2 years. You are a rare one that really tries hard not to bring up names or directly talk politics. I personally really appreciate it. Hey, thanks, man. That's what we try to do. That's kind of like what I try to do with the channel. Yeah, I mean, again, I just try to stay neutral, man. May 10th. Okay, so I missed it. All good. I mean, I have the shock face thumbnails, but that's just part of YouTube now. That's Mr. Beast. You know what I mean? You can't really hate on it. It just is what it is. You got to do whatever you can to compete, and that's. I don't know. My Facebook account's pretty old too. I'll have to look back and check. How much are they paying people? I heard about their lawsuit thing. But all right, SPY still bouncing up a little bit. Look at the SPY hit 418.80s here, man. I'm surprised we hit the highs we did though. The SPY hit the highs of 420s, almost 421s. Yeah, I don't know if I'm pre 2007 though. It's pretty close. Hey, thank you guys. Yeah, I mean, look at the Tesla rip all the way up to almost 181s. But yeah, the SPY hit 421s here, which is just a crazy gain, honestly. John's the real MVP. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you, CT. I appreciate it. Yeah, we try straight. Friday small cap W key made 50%. You guys know me though, man. I'm not really a big penny stock trader. Not hating on it, but I just don't trust it. It's up a lot though. It's at 360s. The problem is that what I've found though with W key WH is that there's very little edge trading something like this. Like if you look at WKEY, there's very little edge trading something like this, right? Because like look at the crazy big moves, like big move up, big move up, big move up, right? A lot of the time what's going to happen at the open is that this thing's going to go like this, you know? And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that could happen. You could also get a huge run up and just continue on the big U like pattern. But again, the problem is that figuring out which one happens, nobody knows. And like there's just a lot of risk trying to attack that. People get money signs in their eyes and they just get greed blinds them to where they want to get rich, and so they end up taking these huge risks and they end up just losing their accounts trading stuff like this. So I just kind of avoid it. What is Magic Leap? Hey, later, Sam. Have a good day, man. Yeah, for sure. WH, all good, man. Yeah, we'll see. I could watch it, but yeah. SPY up to 419s again. Yeah, I don't know, franchise. I think Tesla's up a solid amount. If you look at a 10-day chart, it dipped a big amount prior to that, but it's pretty green. You know, it hit 164 lows. So it's starting to move, but we'll see if it holds. You know what I mean? I think the chips will keep falling on this news. Maybe grab some SOXS. I don't know. What is SOXS? Is that an inverse chip ETF? I know it's a chip ETF. I can't remember what it is, though. Rick says, how do you handle a huge loss the day after mentally? Thanks, your advice are always precious. I took a hit yesterday. Yeah, all good, man. I think the best thing you can do is scale down your size. You know, I think the problem is like people take a big loss and then they try to win back those losses. You know, if you took a big loss, you know, you're probably trading too large. And so I think the best thing that you can do in those situations is learn to trade smaller, learn to scale down your size. You know, a lot of people make the mistake of like they lose, they scale up trying to win back their losses, they lose more, they double down their size, they lose even more, and then their account's gone. Where it's like if I have a big losing day or if I'm struggling, I scale down my size, which is really probably the better move. Scaling down is going to be a little bit better than you know trying to win back your losses. And I get it, it's human nature, but yeah, I would learn to scale down your size and then wait until you start to show good results and then try to slowly scale back up if you do. You know, that's what I would do at least. I have no idea what you should do though. Be safe, you know, of course. Uh, Yeah, for sure, Aaron. PLTR, yeah, PLTR starting to go green on the day. All right, guys. So again, SPY's still bumping up over 419s here. Very strong run this morning here. Very strong run. I need to get a coffee maker in here. So that kid that was just walking into people's homes got banned. Y'all think it's the right move? Look, I'm not saying he should or shouldn't do anything. Let him make his money. I'm not mad at him. All I'm saying is that if he's ever in the South, he's got to be careful doing that. You know. Yeah. Everybody wants to go big to make their money back. Everybody wants to win back what they've lost is what happens, you know. But like the reality is you got to just trade smaller most of the time and just trade smart. Like be safe. Like don't force things, you know. And I mean, like don't force things. Be smart. Just trade small. You know, the best move you can always do is trade small, show consistent profit, and then once you do, scale up your size. But until then, you got to just be smart. You know, like, the biggest mistake most traders make is they just trade too large. You know, and it's hard not to. Like I get shamed so much for trading like with a reasonable size. You know, like I get shamed so much for trading like with a reasonable size, but like. But people want to see gambling is what they want to do, and I'm not about that, you know. All right, so again, market pull back to the VWAP here. Maybe I should buy this. Part of me wants to buy. Let me get some futures trades out here. Where did my quant tower go, dude? Where'd we go? There we go. All right, guys. SPY moving up a little bit. SPY moving up. Should I buy anything? I mean, again, we're in Tesla right now. We're green. We're also in gold. We're in JPMorgan. We bought a little bit of JPMorgan. We're pretty flat. Um, Market's been sizing up here some, or like ripping up here some. All right, so we're still trying to bounce here. We're at the 200 EMA and the VWAP here. Catch back on the chat. I'm watching Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia's just up so much. Disney, part of me wants to add a little bit more to my Disney trade, and I think I might. We're green on it today. I just think we might have a little bit of a buy level here. I might scale in, fix my average a little bit, but my average is not really bad here either. There we go. We scaled in a little bit more. Hey, what's up, Benny? What's up, dude? I got a bunch of stuff outside what I do here, 75. This isn't my only accounts. AMD all the way down to 105. With microchips being so weak, do you think there's a argument for it? Yeah, Meta gapping down pretty substantially too here. Here's Meta. Meta at 2430s. And again, I want to thank everybody. We broke records on Friday. We broke records. We had over 8,000 people here. The most we've ever had on any live stream ever. The stream got like 40,000 views. I appreciate that so much, guys. Thank you. Appreciate y'all joining me here. I mean, again, normal days like today might be slow because we just don't have a lot going on. You know, the market's slow right now. But the market heats up this week. All right. So tomorrow is a little slow. Wednesday, we get a bunch of stuff. We get the Fed minutes. We get NVIDIA earnings. Thursday, we've got GDP data coming out at 8:30. Friday, we have PCE index, inflationary data coming out. Just a lot of stuff going on in the second half of this week. But the first couple of days are slow. Shouldn't Meta be down more? I mean, not necessarily. It depends on how you look at it. I'm like, Meta's a little bit too extended on the upside for me. This is a huge run for Meta. Meta's basically gone from $88 all the way up to $250 in like 8 months, 7 months. So that's a big run. That's a big run. For me, it's a little bit too extended on the upside. And the news of their lawsuit, while it's bad, it's not like it's not going to destroy them or anything like that. So it's bad, but you know. I think they're still they're too extended on the upside for me here at the same time, though. They're up too much. Yeah, we had over 8,000 people here, CT. We posted about it on Twitter. Over 8,000 people here. Let me check it out. This was just the picture we took from it. You know, you can see Bulldog Trading congratulating me and some other people, but yeah, this is just the picture we took of it. We didn't catch it, but we had over 8K. Just for a little second, but still, most of the stream we had between 7 and 8,000. So pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Yeah, the run up in Meta came from a big drop too. And so yeah, I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a slow week last week. The last few weeks are slow. We're in that slow period of time where we just don't have a lot of action, you know. And what I mean by that is like my channel runs off of economic news, you know. And so aside from the debt ceiling stuff, we're in the slow week, you know, where yeah, last week was a slow week. This week starts the excitement though. So this week all the craziness starts again.
And again, Wednesday, we got the Fed minutes report. We will stream the entire thing, break it down live as it happens. Wednesday, we also have NVIDIA earnings. We will stream the entire earnings release, the entire earnings call completely live on stream. You'll be able to watch that. Thursday, we've got GDP data. So GDP data, with all the recession fears and talks lately, GDP data will be absolutely huge for the market. And so we're going to cover GDP data 8:30 Thursday morning. Stick around, hit the subscribe button here, guys, because again, we will cover it all live as it happens. Friday, we have the PCE data. If you don't know what PCE is, Jerome Powell uses the PCE inflationary metric to gauge how bad inflation is, right? So what PCE stands for is the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index. It basically gauges how much we're spending, and that gauges inflation. Jerome Powell loves PCE to use it for inflation. So if PCE comes in low, that's very optimistic for the market in general. And so that comes out Thursday, and then the GDP comes out Thursday, and then PCE comes out Friday. So for economic data, it's a big week. We got a lot of stuff coming out. So for economic data, it's a big week, and it's an exciting week. We'll see what happens. Wait, so is the meeting going to be live? If it's live, we'll cover it. Is the meeting going to be live? All right, so House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and the president are going to meet today to talk about how to avoid the debt default as the June 1st deadline looms. Yeah, I don't think they're going to stream this live, huh? If they stream it, we'll cover it. We'll stream it live too, but I don't think they're going to. Yeah, so I don't think they're going to, unfortunately. So they're going to meet today. Yeah, we'll see. Again, Tesla bouncing right at that previous closing price 200 EMA level. Again, vote on the poll here, guys. For the debt ceiling, we got a poll. Most people think no. Will there be a debt ceiling decision today? All right, so you can see out of about 500 votes, what's up, David? 65% said no ceiling decision today. 34% said yes. Does the market close green today? It's going to be the main question here. Does the market close green today? Yes or no? Vote on that poll. Market is green right now, slightly green. So we were pretty flat most of the morning. We are now all the way back up to 419s in market activity. 419s. And so again, we'll see if we hold there. But 419s on the SPY. Look at Tesla pop right at that 200 EMA. And the reason I like the volume weighted average price in the 200 EMA level is this. You got some traders that are looking at just this purple line right here. You got some traders that are looking at just this yellow line, which is the 200 EMA. And so, again, to show you why, like some traders are watching the VWAP here, and other traders are watching the 200 EMA here, and some traders are watching both of these, right? And so when both of them coincide to right around the same level, a lot of the time you're going to get a pullback to this level and a bounce. Why? Is because you got a lot of buys coming in here. Some traders using the VWAP as a buy level, some traders using the 200 EMA, some traders are using both. But when they all both go around to the same spot, you get traders that buy it up, and we get bounces just like we saw in Tesla here. You can kind of see the same thing on the SPY right here. So if you're not watching the 200 EMA and the VWAP, it's an important thing to watch. What's up, Todd? Yeah, all good, man. Leap ideas. They need to get this debt. Yeah, I mean, June 1st. So 45% of people think the market closes green. 54% of people think the market does not close green. Yeah, we'll see. Again, market's green right now, though. It's been on a little tear since early morning, 7 a.m. or so. So the market's been on a little tear since about 7 a.m. Meta has basically bounced all the way back up. So look at Meta. Meta bouncing all the way back up to 244s. During the day, green. Maybe. We'll see. Do you all think the Cybertruck breaks records? Is my question. Do you think the Cybertruck breaks records? I think it could. Hey, what's up, Guts? All right, mentally noted, David. We'll see if you're right, man. Mentally noted. I wouldn't mind some pullbacks. All right, guys. So look, SPY consolidating after breaking back over. So we got this level here. You know what I think is the most interesting level on the SPY right now is this zone right here. So in this zone, you can see you have the VWAP, you have the 200 EMA, and then you have the previous closing price. So these three levels are right around the same spot on the SPY. I think that's a pretty big buy level. Again, I'm not saying you should buy, but I think it's going to be really influential over price action for the SPY. Again, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about everything. Don't copy me. Don't sue me. I'm not liable if you lose. I'm not an investment professional. This is not professional advice. Don't copy me. Now, with all that said, said and out the way, I think this is a nice little level to watch because, again, we have the previous closing price, which is ultimately the level at which this thing goes from red to green, green to red on the day. We've got the volume-weighted average price, which is a really heavily used trend indicator that shows you the trend. If we're over that, we're in an upward trend. If we're below that, we're in a downward trend, and that influences sentiment and trend, of course. And then we also have the 200 EMA, which is the most long-term moving average. You know, you got the 9, the 12, the 20, the 25, all these different variations. And so I usually try to zoom out a little bit with regards to the moving averages and try to find the one that's the most heavily used long-term, because that means breaks and holds of it are more influential. And so having those three things fall to the exact same spot, some traders are watching VWAP, some are watching 200 EMA, some are watching previous closing price, some are all watching, you know, a combination of those or all of them. And so when that happens, you generally get a lot of buy levels in there. And so you can see we pulled back to that, and now we're bouncing back up. And so watching that spot for sure here. And there goes the SPY testing highs. Cybertruck floats. Yeah, exactly, Rick. No car's ever heard of it, or no cars ever look like that. It doesn't matter whether people think it's ugly or whether people think it's beautiful. It doesn't matter because, again, what I explained earlier is that look, Tesla used to be like a really like head turning vehicle. Like if you saw a Tesla, you turned your head and were like, ooh, look at Tesla. Regardless of whether you liked it or disliked it, you said, hey, there's a Tesla, right? That has kind of been diluted a little bit. Like it's not so much as that big, you know, it's not so much of that big head turning vehicle anymore. I see them all the time driving down the street. I see a bunch of them every time I go outside now. And so I don't think Tesla's that anymore. But I think one thing that will reignite that type of thing is the Cybertruck. I think if you go outside and you see a Cybertruck, you're going to look at it. You know, that's going to make people, just that one aspect of it is going to make people buy it. You know, just that one part of it. And again, it's bulletproof. It floats on water. It's fast. It's got great towing capacity. It's just a pretty cool overall truck. But again, I think there's also the part, like I think Elon has kind of been really outspoken lately as well. And I think that's not really the greatest thing sometimes. And so we'll see if that influences the buys coming through, but I still think it'll probably break records. Yeah, there's so many Teslas there, you know, again, but I think that'll get better with the Cybertruck. I think the Cybertruck will change that. Yeah, Apple got downgraded here. Meta, look, SPY just broke highs of pre-market again. So SPY broke highs of pre-market up to 419s. Tesla up there, ripping up, kind of following the market. Meta is kind of rebounding. Meta got sued like over $1 billion by Ireland in the EU, and now they are up to 244 still. So yeah, look at that cool trapezoid. Yeah. It's different looking, man. And again, regardless of whether you like it or dislike it, regardless of whether you think it's cool or not, it's going to make people look, you know, it's going to make people look. I think that's the part you got to, you know. Yeah. Well, Apple's definitely the most heavily weighted stock, and it got downgraded today, so it's gapping down heavily though. But Apple, with that, Apple's one of the most successful companies. So I mean, if you look at a 20-day chart, Apple's still very green. Very green. Market cap wise, yeah, for sure. Apple's got a huge cap. And again, people got mad at me because I kind of taught them about market cap, where we had somebody that just didn't. You got a couple people that, again, I talked about it before, but the stock market is very notorious for having people just claim to be experts. Like they might have traded for 3 weeks now, but now they want to act like they know and they're an expert because they want to show everybody how smart they are. And I think that's human nature to a certain extent. But like, you got a lot of people that don't understand market cap versus price. So a lot of people are just looking at stock price to gauge value. Where again, if we only looked at stock price, Chipotle would be more valuable than Apple. And of course, that's not true. So always remember, look at market cap. Baba, yeah, Baba's down a lot though. So Baba pulled back a lot last couple weeks. Or Baba pulled back last week after earnings. So Baba's down. Still green over the last 20 days though. All right, guys. SPY green, Meta green, Meta green over the last 10 minutes. Red on the day. SPY very green on the day though. Tesla green on the day. I'm looking at Microsoft as well here. Again, Microsoft up to almost 320s here, man. Microsoft, since ChatGPT has been on a tear, but Google has had a crazy run the last few days. I kept telling people, man, that Bard was dope and that Bard was solid. Bard was cool, and it has ripped all the way up to 126s. Nvidia, I like Nvidia, but Nvidia's up so much, man. Again, Nvidia's up so much over the last few months that it's too expensive for me. It's not something that I necessarily want to buy right now, and I think there might be a pullback soon. So I'm just trying to be smart. AVRO, yeah, AVRO is gapping up. So Pawn's covering these micro cap stocks. Here's AVRO. I would be careful. This looks like a pump and dump. So just y'all be careful. I'm not saying it is. I don't know. But here's a 5-minute chart. But look at that gap up for AVRO here. Penny stock making moves. NVIDIA's leading edge tech. Yeah, NVIDIA's very strong. It's just not really something that I would necessarily want to buy right now, if that makes sense. Like, it's very strong. I'm not hating on NVIDIA or anything, but it's just too high up. Like, again, y'all have to understand my strategy. And again, all I can really do is stick to the strategy that gives me an edge in the market. And again, I can't guarantee it's going to give you an edge, of course, but like, you have to think about the fact that I'm looking for discount buys. Like, I'm trying to buy up discounts. And so I'm looking for things that have pulled back heavily, that I can now buy it up, right? I'm looking for things that have pulled back heavily that I think are going to be safe over the years. Like, I'm looking for stuff that pulled back heavily that I think will be safe over the years. So, like, I'm looking for stuff that's been around a long time. So yeah, I'm looking for stuff that is going to be safe long term. And AVRO, again, it's just not really my style, Watch it AVRO. I mean, it's been so long since I've traded a penny stock, though. I'm gonna do my best not to get caught in it. Oh man. See, these bots are the reason I don't have guests on the show anymore. It's kind of ironic. Again, we talked about it earlier. Like, again, think about if y'all were me. They're gonna try to act like I'm jealous or whatever it is. I want valuable guests to be on my stream. Absolutely. Like, having a great guest on my stream is good for my channel. It gives my channel value. The problem, and again, put yourself in my shoes, right, guys? So if you got a guest on your show, right? If you got a guest on your show, and all of a sudden, in the chat, you get a bunch of fake accounts that have never said a word in your channel before. All of a sudden, just praising this guest, talking about, oh, this guest is great, but simultaneously trashing you, like talking smack about you. You look back at those accounts, and they all have never said anything before. They've never said a word before. They all come in at around the same time. You know what I mean? Never said a word before. They've never even mentioned anything else in the channel before, and they're all just kind of simultaneously praising this guest all at once. What are y'all gonna think? Right? Genuine question. What are you guys gonna think? Again, I think sometimes people who send that stuff don't realize how obvious it is to everybody else. Right? Right. Absolutely, David. That's exactly what it is. And so again, what would y'all do if y'all are me? At a certain point, you're gonna say, well, somebody's trying to manipulate me, is what I'm thinking. Like, that's the first thing I think is like, hey, somebody's trying to manipulate me. And so because of that, we're just going to restrict it. Like, again, I don't need to have anybody else on the show. I run this whole community by myself, basically, and we get great numbers, better than some of the big networks. And so, again, try to put yourselves in my shoes. What would you do if you were me? You're going to do the same thing. GM plans on Monday confirmed plans to introduce an EV version of its flagship Cadillac. So an EV Escalade. I grew up in the 90s when Escalades were like the car. Escalades were like the car to have. They've kind of fell out, though. I haven't seen a lot of Escalades. I know they have a new one, but I like the new Cadillacs. I don't even know if they're Escalades. Yeah, but there's no co-host, though. Like, listen. Any free calls? Nah, I'm not. I don't give out calls or picks. It's just not what I do, And again, like, what y'all have to understand truly here is that it's like, bro, like, how many people I've had come to my stream? Like, they come to my stream. They want to come on my streams. A lot of the time, what they're trying to do is somehow get me to give them equity in beginner trading, which I'm never going to do. Like, I'm never giving anybody equity. I don't need to. Like, nobody else, if y'all were me, y'all wouldn't either. But like, again, if I feel like somebody's trying to manipulate me, And I'm not mentioning names. Ben was great guest. I'm not even talking about him. But if I feel somebody's trying to manipulate me, I'm gonna immediately pull back. And I think sometimes people don't realize how obvious it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, you would say that. Gonna retire my Dodge Ram soon. I never was a Dodge person. I like Chevy trucks, but like I'm really a Tundra guy. Like I like the Toyota Tundras is what I like. I know they're not like domestic, but like I still thought they were cooler. I also like hey, my guy's sick. Thank you, man. I also thought Chevy trucks were cool, but Chevy trucks, the reliability is questionable. Tesla moving up to 181.40s here. 181.40s. Yeah, I would do the exact same thing. Kick them all out. Yeah, 100%, man. Look, like I said, it's coordinated. That's the most obvious part about it. And again, again, it is what it is. Yeah, Mitch is my guy. I'll try to ask him to come on the show. He's cool. Yeah. Again, it's been every day. It's been daily, It's unfortunate, man. EV, hydrogen vehicles. Tundras. Yeah, the gas mileage isn't great. They're pretty though. I like Tundras, man. Tundras are pretty. Yeah, man. It's unfortunate that people try to manipulate me in that way. It really is unfortunate, but it is what it is, Again, I've experienced it so much throughout the 6 years that I've run this channel. That's not really surprising. It's just kind of the fact that people think I'd actually like fall for that, though, is the surprising thing. Like, think about it. If y'all were me, what would y'all do? What do you think? Yeah, it's the price to pay. It's lonely at the top here, Lonely at the top over here, Again, over time, I just realized that having no guests is the best because, yeah. Nothing against Ben. Ben's great, but no guest. Yeah, that's me too. And it's all love, here. It's all good. I appreciate the community, of course. AMD pull it back again. AMD over 100. I don't think I'm gonna buy this though, but AMD's testing the highs of the year. No guess is the best. No, there's a difference between being a hater and just protecting your community. There's a difference. People might not like it because they were kind of caught, and I think is what it is. But like, again, I think whoever tried this, whoever it is just naive to the internet. I think they're naive to like what it really is and how long I've been doing this. Because it was incredibly obvious, man. Yeah, so I think some of the feds are speaking right now. So let me see. So I know we have some Fed stuff today. Again, today and tomorrow are going to be relatively slow days. The busier days are going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Those days are all going to be big days for sure. So yeah, right now we have Bullard speaking right now. So Bullard started speaking 8 minutes ago. So Bullard's speaking now. We also have Bostic. So Raphael Bostic speaking at 10:50 market time. We have Barkin speaking at 10:50 as well. And then we have Daly speaking at 11:05. But yeah. Yeah, for sure, Chris, 100%. Yeah, I'll get you the link, Jeffrey. Yeah, I think whoever started sending that just couldn't control themselves and just had to send it. And again, it ultimately made me do the opposite, I'm sure, of what they expected. But again, when you run a community like this, you know what's fabricated and what's not. You know what's real and what's not. Um, and again, I think people come on stream and they get kind of addicted to the excitement of what it takes, and then think that they can pull some weird, play on me, and it's just not going to work. I'm trying to get away from the momentum stocks as I'm too busy to watch them. I'm trying to find blue chippers that have really fallen, like AMD. Yeah, that's what I try to do, Michael, is I try to look for like big pullbacks in healthy companies, but it's hard to find sometimes. You really got to be patient. You also have to look at like the PE ratio. Like the PE ratio is a good gauge in like identifying whether something's extended or not. Oh, well, yeah, we're going to repeat stuff, of course. The way people learn things is from repetition, so people learn things from repetition. So you're going to have to repeat. Roblox on the move. What do y'all think about Roblox? Still at 40. Jack made one of the greatest calls ever, though. Jack called that $40 level, Are you gonna ever have a meetup? I don't know, man. Maybe. We're not really in the the meetups are mostly meant for like entertainment streamers and stuff like that, entertainment YouTubers. Like we might try one day, but I don't know. We'll see. It depends. Kind of puts me in a vulnerable situation because like over the years you build up lovers and haters of the channel. So Jack definitely call a move still. Honestly, Jack called $40. Again, I asked Jack, and this was over a year ago now. I said, hey, man, where do you think Roblox will be in the future? He said, I think it'll be still there, but I think it'll be about half the price. And he said it at $80. Roblox is now at $40, half the price. I still tell Jack about that. I'm like, hey, bro, you had one of the greatest stock picks around. My chat still talks about it. So good for him, Roblox, I just couldn't imagine investing in it. Again, when I look at public companies, I'm looking at business model too, and I just don't know if Roblox has the business model that I want to invest in. Maybe I'm wrong here. I could be wrong, but for me, it's just not really my style of trades. Apple started bounce back though. It's almost up to 174. Still under the 200 EMA, so we're in between the VWAP and the 200 EMA. Recession probabilities are overstated according to Bullard. I hope he's right. I think the market is showing that as well, but I think a lot of it depends on GDP data this Friday. So GDP data comes out Friday. I think a lot of what the market will do depends on that, All right, guys. So look at Tesla still moving up here, and we are in Tesla. It's a very small trade, but we're still green in it. Tesla at 181.60s. Always been afraid. Yeah, I'm scared to mess with Roblox. It's just the question is, does Roblox have longevity? Is the question, I think. And Roblox is actually technically green on the year, so it's not like down on the year. And again, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here with Roblox. It could just fly for all I know. But that's the question: is does Roblox have longevity in the markets? And I don't know. It could. It might not. For me, it's too much. There's too many question marks regarding it, so I'm just not going to mess with it. Again, I try to do. Like, I think one of the, if you're trying to swing trade and invest, I think one of the things that you should be conditioning yourself to do is be very strict in terms of like what you're going to buy. So like when I look for a pullback stock, something that's extended on the downside, I need something that is very clear that it's healthy long term, but it's just emotionally down short term. And that's not everything. That's not everything. That's only a very small percentage of stocks. So I just kind of wait and have to be patient. I think you got to condition yourself to just be patient. Jack knows nothing about EV. And of course he just got lucky. I'm just kind of joking around. I mean, he basically thought Roblox would be weak, and he was right. But he's 9. Jack's 9, so I'm just joking around. I'm giving him that credit. Maybe he'll get interested in the stock market afterwards. SPY pull it back down a little bit. Part of me wants to buy this. I might buy a little bit of futures trades. All right, so we just bought a little bit of futures trades. So we just bought the dip in Top Step. See if we get a bounce right back up here. So we are down a little bit. One contract here. I want to see if we get a little rebound back up. Again, we're watching the SPY. The SPY has had a big, pullback just now. So I want to give it time to potentially bounce back if we can. Jack. PayPal. I don't hate PayPal, but I'm also in PayPal. So that's going to influence my bias there. So I don't hate it, but I'm also in it right now. So like, I think it's extended on the downside, and I think PayPal is still going to be okay, but I think there's risk, of course. That's kind of my take on PayPal. So I bought it. We're green on it today, but red overall. And again, I just don't trust it that much. And so we're in it, but it's not a big size. And so I'm just going to see if it bounces back. So we're in it, but not confidently in it, if that makes sense. Like we're in it right now, but we're not betting our house on it, so to speak. Yeah, I never played RuneScape, but yeah. All right, so we're getting dropped down here. We're probably going to All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut this. We did get a big firm rejection back down. I want to give it 1 second, but we're pretty close to cutting it. The only reason I'm probably, we're going to get out. Tesla just dipped down too. So Apple's falling down, Tesla's falling down, the SPY's falling down. Now we'll just wait. Huge jump on GHL. Butter saying 2 more hikes while market expecting a pause. I think anybody expecting a pause is wrong, though. Like I don't think a pause is very likely. And again, I think you guys have to look at it in terms of like recession fears. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think you have to look at it like, hey, how much is the market fearing a recession versus inflation? Right? Like that's the dynamic you have to look at this. The market recession fears are starting to get curbed a little bit because of the big green action. Banks have bounced back. The market has been very green right now, despite the banking fears. And so recession fears, as the market rips up, are going to get lower and lower. Like the market's going to fear recession less and less as the market goes up. If the market goes up, they're going to fear recession less and less, right? And what happens when we fear recession less and less? The Fed's going to be more confident in raising rates instead of just pausing them. If banks were really struggling and the market was breaking lows and looking weak and really in a disaster, state, then the Fed would be more likely to say, hey, we're getting really risky with these rate hikes. Let's pause it a little bit, at least pause it for now. But the market's not doing that. Again, the market's bumping up. The market broke that 420 level Friday, and it's still been very strong. And so with that said, that makes me think that the Fed is going to be more likely to just continue raising that base 25 basis point rate hike that they've been doing. And again, that's my guess. But again, I could be wrong. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think the Fed's probably going to raise rates 25 basis points during the next Fed meeting in mid-June. Now, one of the dynamics of this to pay attention to, though, is going to be mid-June. It's going to be early to mid-June. But we do have PCE data coming out Friday, which is the Fed's preferred inflationary metric. We also have GDP data dropping Thursday. And of course, GDP data is directly influencing the technical definition of a recession, which is 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters. And so if we come in positive for GDP Thursday, that's a pretty good sign that we're still going to raise rates 25 basis points. I get it. Everybody expects a pause, but I don't think that's reasonable to expect yet. I think anything could happen, but I don't think we're going to do a pause. I think it's more likely that we're going to do 25 basis points, especially if GDP comes in positive. If PCE comes in low, we're going to be doing, or if GDP comes in positive, but GDP comes in high, or but inflation PCE comes in high, even more likely that we're going to raise rates. So you have to think about the battle of inflation versus a recession and what that means. And right now, I think the market is fearing inflation more than a recession currently, but who knows? I might be wrong. I don't know. And again, I hear a lot of people recommending a lot of different things, saying we're going to do all this different stuff. Again, I'm not saying I understand the market better than they do. What I'm saying is, like, I understand rate hike decisions fairly well. Like, we cover every single one. I stream every major rate hike decision. I follow them incredibly closely because they're relevant to my channel, which is breaking news, right? Most of the time, rate hikes are going to come in as expected. You know, we had a lot of people that were betting that the last rate hike decision that we would pause. And again, I kept telling them over and over again, we're not going to pause. You know, I mean, we could, but the likelihood is less than 10% that we pause. Because again, generally, rate hike decisions come in as expected. And so if all the big banks are expecting a rate hike, you can bet your money that we're going to raise rates. That's pretty obvious. And so in this situation, I'm pretty sure most people are expecting a rate hike moving forward. And again, the next rate hike decision, I believe, is June 14th. I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Not 100%, of course, but I'm pretty sure. So if everybody's expecting a rate hike, odds are that we're going to raise rates. And again, it all depends on how much the market fears a recession. That's what's going to influence it. We got to look at the PCE Friday. We've got to look at GDP Thursday. Those two metrics are going to influence whether we raise rates or not. I still think it's pretty likely that we raise rates, but I think we also have to just kind of wait until that data comes out first. I think Chart Prime's better, but I'm sponsored by Chart Prime cause, so I'm a little bit different, but I think Chart Prime's better. And again, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep is a funded account program for futures where they give you a demo and they test your skill. And this is incredibly useful for traders because most day traders lose money, you know, and I think most day traders are going to lose these challenges, but I think these challenges are going to build your skill. You know, what they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. So they give you a demo, they give you a profit target, they give you a max loss. And if you can pass that test, they legitimately fund you. And again, I think most people are going to fail this, but I think they do free one-on-one coaching. They have a funded coach. They have the trade IQ that allows you to build rules around yourself, and it'll alert you if you break them. Just learning to be in these challenges teaches you how to trade. You know, doing these challenges teaches you how to trade. And it really is something like we are scalping the regular E-mini right now. So we are nicely up here. I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest. So we are now up about 20 on the day or so. So we came all the way back from the losses. But yeah, this is TopStep right here. And again, you can day trade the S&P 500 in the futures market with no PDT rule. And TopStep gives you a demo and they test your skill. And if you're good enough, they fund you with a 90% split. And you get to keep 5,000 of your first profit. And so it's really the best of both worlds, where it's like if you don't have that much equity, if you save up, you're still probably going to lose your first account. Instead, you could take a funded account program. The base one on Top Step is less than $140 a month. And so you have very limited risk. You can reset it for 100 as well if you lose. So very cheap to do that. Much cheaper than putting up 5, 10K yourself in futures to try to trade that. But if you pass it, you still get 90% of your profit. And so it's kind of the best of both worlds, where if you fail, you lose less than you would if you put the money up yourself. If you pass it, you still get a lot of the benefits, like using your own money, but just with much less risk. And so in that regard, it's the best way. And Top Step is the most legit. They've been around for over 10 years. They've been out for a decade plus. They pay out millions every year in actual withdrawals, and they fund thousands of traders a year. And so they are a sponsor of mine, so I'm definitely biased in their favor because they pay me money. And so, of course, I'm biased. But again, genuinely useful. And if you want to check them out, here is the link. Great way to help support the channel. Good day to you, sir. What's up, Sam? GDP is the gross domestic product. It's the total amount of sales, basically, that we have going out throughout the year. So GDP is there's how much money circulating in the economy is what GDP data is. Yeah, if you cry about my sponsors the first time I plug them after streaming for hours, you're gonna get insta banned. Good day to you. Yeah, GDP measures the monetary value of final goods and services. It's basically all the money circulating in the economy. But again, the relevance of GDP is this, right? The relevance of GDP is that recession is defined as 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters, right? So when you get 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters, that's technically defined as a recession. So like a lot of people saying a recession, the Fed saying we might hit a recession. What's going to matter the most is what GDP shows, because that's directly influencing whether we're in a recession or not. And so a lot of people are going to be watching for this. A lot of people are going to be waiting. And again, we'll see. But that's kind of what's going on. All right, we're going to get ready to trade some futures too. So we made a little bit of money. We're slightly green. Yeah, Robinhood already came out with their 24-hour trading stuff. Yeah, the next rate hike decision is going to be June 14th, I think. What's up, Rodrigo, my guy? Thank you, man. Yeah. And so again, expectations for GDP for Thursday. And again, we're going to stream the whole thing. So subscribe if you haven't yet, guys. If you haven't yet, subscribe. I'm also going to throw it in sub-only mode because putting it in sub-only mode gets rid of the bots and haters, to be honest. So good day to you guys. Hey, everybody announce yourself. Show us that you're not a bot or a hater. Show us that you're subscribed and that you're supportive. So announce yourself. We appreciate it. We got some majestic emojis for our members too. So you can get good day sirred in here. We got Carol. We got Rosie the pup. And we got John, beardless John. No, I don't think Robinhood's doing futures right now. Gary, my guy, Hollow Point Room. What's up, team? Appreciate the love, guys, for sure. Yeah, running a community is weird. You got people just sitting around waiting to talk smack. Find something else to do, bro. I couldn't imagine just watching a live stream waiting to criticize. It's got to be a struggle, you know? Hey, what's up, my guy, Ricky, Maximus, Pierre, TJ, Quindle, or Quindon, DC, Mo, Rick. What's up, team? Appreciate the love, guys, for sure. SPY trying to bounce at the VWAP in the 200 EMA. Anti-bot right here. Top 3 anti-bots in the world. Hey, my guy YK. I've been a member for over 2 years. Hey, nice, man. Hey, thank you, Butter. Hey, thank you, Raz. Announcing I'm not a hater. I love your streams. Hey, my guy. Thank you, man. Yeah, the Astros have not been doing that good, bro. What's the Astros records right now? All right, guys, we got 30 minutes until the market opens. 30 minutes. Let me see what the Astros record is. The Rangers are above us, and they don't even have Jacob deGrom, too, right now. Jacob's injured. I mean, the Astros are still doing pretty solid. I mean, we're almost 0.6, so we're doing better than the Angels. But the Angels are never going to beat the Astros, bro. Look at the Rangers doing it, man. How crazy would it be if the World Series, or no, I guess it wouldn't be. All right, SPY pull it back a little bit. Again, we bought some. I'm going to buy this again, I think. So we bought one contract here. We're up about $20 on the day, so it's a small trade right now. Again, I'm going to buy this. See if it holds. Hold on one second, guys. I went ahead and cut that. I got to go check on something real quick. Give me like less than 10 seconds. So we are now up on this account. On the day, we are now up about $50. I'll take it. Nice little cushion heading into the opening bell. Maximus. I think a gladiator when I say your name. Hey, buddy. Love you, buddy.
Love you.
Have a good day, man.
Okay.
Hey, buddy. Hold on. Oilers fan? The Orioles are pretty good. I thought you said Orioles at first. They got that good catcher. What's his name? What's the catcher? The switch. He bats switch. His name is. He just got called up last year. Adley Rutschman is his name. Orioles have him. So I've been watching the Orioles a little bit. My favorite team is either the Blue Jays or I mean, my favorite team's the Astros. My favorite non-market team, like the team that's not in my market, are Vlad and Bo Bichette over there at the Blue Jays and the Angels, man. How can you not be a fan of the Angels? Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, Ward, just a great team. Let me rephrase, okay team. So they're an okay team. They're not like the greatest, that's for sure. Their problem is like a pitcher can only do so much for your team. Look at the big pump up. I should have held that trade. They need a deeper pitching staff, because they have Ohtani, but he can't pitch every game. And so, like, the problem with the Angels is that they need a deep bullpen, and they just don't have it. They're doing all right this year. They're also in a division of killers here. Like being versus the Astros every year is going to be hard for the Angels to do anything. And now the Rangers are doing great too, man. Rangers are 29-17. So hey, thank you, YK. I'm the guy that predicted you'd be a millionaire in 5 years. Well, it depends on how you define a millionaire, to be honest, man. If it's by like liquid cash, that's one thing. But if it's by assets, I mean, I might arguably be one now, man. But I appreciate the support for sure. Yeah, Yankees are all right. Did Disney pop? I'm in Disney right now. It popped a little bit. The problem with the Yankees is, I mean, they got Cole. Yankees are good, but you know, again, bullpen problems. They've got Garrett Cole. All the other pitchers are kind of meh, in my opinion. They got some good ones, but yeah, the Mets now. The Mets have Verlander now too. But yeah, SPY bounced it up a little bit, almost up to 419s. Yeah, I'm curious about what they're gonna do with Ohtani too. Yeah. No, I don't really gamble on sports that much, man. It's just not really my thing. Like I'm not mad at anybody that does. If we are pulling back again, part of me wants to we bounce it up a little bit here. Again, we'll see if we actually hold. $1 billion contract. Ohtani might get it. That's a big contract, though. That's a big contract. All right, so again, SPY bounced it back up. We've been pretty sideways, though, for the last couple minutes here. $23 minutes or so until the market opens. We'll see if we get anything good. I mean, Disney's starting to bounce back, but again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 minutes of basically chop. We're moving up a little bit, but it's not really like a huge move up or anything like that. Do you really think the U.S. is that rigged where we push past all-time highs during a recession? We're not in a recession right now. Again, the technical definition of a recession is 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters, and we had that, but it was like a year ago. Market's been moving up a lot, you know. And so, again, we also don't have high unemployment. We have very low unemployment, and so we're not in a recession right now. You know, GDP's been coming in pretty positive over the last 6 months to a year. So we're not in a recession right now. Again, you got to look at the technical definition. You know, like sure, we could have. You could consider us one maybe a year ago when that number hit, but the market's been pumping up since then. Like pumping up since then. So. All right, so sideways price action here. We'll see if we buy the dip. Hey, what's up, Emmanuel? My guy, what's up, man? Half the service industry is gone and nothing replaces them. They don't count as them. Yeah, I think the commercial market's getting hit. Hey, what's up, Ernie? My guy, what's up, man? I take Angels anytime Ohtani pitches against every other game. Yeah, I get it for sure, man. Again, Ohtani's like the GOAT, I think. Ohtani's like the greatest of all time. The problem is he can't pitch every game, man. He can't pitch every game. Their pitching is a little underwhelming outside of Ohtani. And I think what would probably be good for the Angels is if they sold Ohtani and diversified their bullpen. They've got great batters. They've got Trout, they've got Ward, they've got Ohtani, but the problem is their pitching is weak aside from him. You know, like that's the issue. Would you sell any contracts into this pre-market at open? I mean, you can't buy or sell options. Are you talking about futures? I mean, I don't know. We're pretty flat right now. You know, so we're pretty flat leading into this. Yeah, well, commercial market's going to take a hit for sure, you know. So the commercial market's going to take a hit. Part of me wants to buy this dip. I'm going to go ahead and buy this dip again. We got a nice little cushion already. We'll see if we get a bounce here. Again, we're in one position, very small. I want to give it time. Like, we're in a very small position. All right, so we ended up cutting that one. Sorry, I'm trying to get Carol's attention. Hold on one second. All right, so yeah, we ended up cutting it. We're pretty flat on the day now. So we got up and then we're down and then we're still green on the day, but it's not much. We're up like $20. Yeah, I mean, Paul, I mean, listen, you can sit around and wait to critique any trade I get into and cherry pick the trades I get into that are bad. That's fine. But I guess my point is, like, it's really easy to say in hindsight, hey, that trade looked bad. I don't know why you got in it. Or that trade looked good. You know what I mean? It's really difficult to say that beforehand, you know? And so regardless of any trade I'm making right now, you know, let's try not to do that. And maybe there's weakness. Like I said, y'all might be right. But yeah, just a lot of time, I guess one of the things that you'll see on the internet, at least, is like I'll have green day, green day, green day, green day, red day, and then the red day happens and everybody wants to tell me how to trade. And it's just kind of like, all right, guys, like, you know, at least be consistent. I don't know. I don't know if the metaverse is that big, Yowzer. I think the metaverse has lost some hype recently, you know. Yeah. I mean, this isn't going to make me tilt, though. Like, I'm not super. Again, I think there's an argument for a buy right here, and I'll explain why. What I always say is, like, don't pressure people with any specific direction. Like, you can see resistance here, support here, support here, support here, right? And so, if anything, we've got multiple confirmations right here at this low. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to hold. The SPY is also at the 200 EMA over here. And the previous closing price is right underneath us. And so we've got a lot of support underneath us right here is the reason I wanted to buy it up. And again, maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe it just dumps down. You know, you see the E-mini VWAP is way down here. Again, I really don't know. But I always try to say it's just better not to pressure anybody to do anything. I'm not really buying. I added a little bit of Disney to my Disney trade that we've already taken profit off of once on a bounce. Yeah, the Apple headset got a lot of hype. A lot of hype for the Apple headset. Carol. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to talk to Carol about something. All right. All right. Sorry. Yeah, I had to talk to Carol for a second. Do you think the last week? Yeah. So look, here's the bounce. Again, we were talking about why we wanted to buy that dip, and this is why, is because we have like a bunch of support right around the same spot right here. And so this was actually the dip we were trying to do. And so again, it's kind of like I always try to have no pressure. I don't want people influencing my ideas too much because a lot of the time, you know, and it's nobody else's fault. But yeah. Yeah, Zuckerberg got sued. Gonna have to pay $1 billion. Meta's gonna have to pay $1 billion in fees to the EU. I think should have held. No, we're not up enough to really confirm that. I think there's a bounce argument here, but I don't think anything's necessarily clear. So I understand both sides of this. Like I understand the longs and shorts, to be honest here. Again, what I think we got to look at is like here's the SPY right here. Here's the SPY. SPY is right at the 200 EMA, right at the VWAP, right over the previous closing price. And so I think one thing that we could see happen here is we could see like a dip down and then a bounce back up like this. Right. So I think we could break under these lows, but then the previous closing price level here could cause us to get a pop. Maybe I'm wrong there, though. I could be wrong, but I think that's something we could see. No numbers really coming out today. We'll see if I'm right here. But again, I think that's what we could see is like if we dip under that for a split second and here's that dip and then we get down to around this level here and then we bounce. Oh, and if I'm right, if I'm exactly right about what happens, y'all will never hear the end of it. You know. And again, we're trading on Top Step today, guys. So if you want to try to get funded, again, most day traders, they don't understand why the futures market is better. Futures market is better because you can day trade and short with no PDT restrictions. Like you try to do it with a cash account, you're going to get restricted if you have less than 25K. Forex, you got to use VPNs and all this crazy stuff. The futures market, there's no PDT rule. You can day trade the S&P 500. You can day trade the NASDAQ. You can day trade currencies with no restrictions. You could day trade short, buy market, buy bid, sell the ask. It's just like stocks. Look, I can buy market, buy bid, sell the ask, but there's no PDT restriction. And the cheapest way to get your foot in the door in futures without taking on a lot of risk, like a great way to test your skill, is a funded account program. And Top Step is the most legit. They've been around for over a decade. They pay out millions every year. They fund thousands of traders a year. It's very cheap. They're the kind of who everybody else copies off of. And so again, if you want to check them out, here's the link. Yeah, I'm gonna sit pretty flat right now, regardless of whether I'm right about this directional move. And so, yeah, if you want to check out Top Step, there's the link in chat. I appreciate the love. Hey, we got a little pop up here. That's the first half of my prediction. Here. SPY back up there too. It means that you need to have at least $1,200 to day trade the micro E-mini, or to trade the micro E-mini in a margin account. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess that's what they mean. Again, I don't know about TOS. Again, what I really think, like, if you want to trade futures, the best way to do it's a funded account program. It really is. It's just cheaper to do it that way. We just added a timer. Yeah, the funded account's going to be better. So we just added a thing where you can do. Let me see if it works. So you should. Yeah. So there we go. So I added a command for Nightbot. So I did add a command for Nightbot, so you can kind of see Nightbot posted it and it works. So that's good. So let me remove that real quick, and then there you go. So yeah, if anybody wants to use my link, you can just hit the command. Yeah, we do have the debt ceiling talks today. I know Biden's supposed to be meeting with somebody else too. Okay, we got the Fed minutes report, GDP data, PCE data, a lot of relevant stuff. Market's mostly flat right now, though. Part of me wants to buy the dip here, but I think I'm just going to wait. What's the NASDAQ doing? Here's the NASDAQ. It's pretty flat too. So how much profit per tick is on the NASDAQ? Is it $5 or $10 for the NQ? Looks like it's $5. Yeah, it looks like it's $5, man. I might have to mess with this a little bit more. Whoa, what is causing this flush in markets right now? So we pull back to the VWAP here. Disagreeing on night. So $5. Okay, got you. Well, no, that's the E-mini, Sam. $12.50 is the E-mini. I'm talking about the NASDAQ. The NQ is what it's called. So the next Ford electric truck will have 30% lower labor costs. JPMorgan Company has increased retail deposit shares by 60 basis points over the past year. Expect Basel proposal any day now, they say. 5 a tick. Okay, gotcha. Why did Apple drop? Apple's down because of they got downgraded. So yeah, Apple's down because they got downgraded. What is this at the very top? This is Tesla. So Tesla rebounding back up. SPY's starting to test that previous closing price, but Apple is starting to bounce back some here. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes, give or take. Market's trying to hold. Consolidating here right at the previous closing price. And again, this is the red to green level. Apple's still bouncing back though, so Apple's still looking okay. Again, you can kind of see the VWAP right underneath this. Market opens up in about 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. When does the contract rollover hit? All right, here's the opening bell in about 2 minutes, guys. All right, so we are scalping the NASDAQ here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. So we just got out. I think we made about 160 or so from this trade just now. I don't know how much I made. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so no, we only made about 80 bucks. We're up about 110 right now. I'll take it. Green is good. Got a little cushion into the opening bell too. Again, we bought that dip. And again, this is exactly what I drew earlier, guys. If you remember what I said I thought we might pull back to the VWAP here and then bounce back up and go like that. Now, again, it doesn't mean anything yet. We still got the opening bell in about 1.5 minutes. That's more so, yeah, they're not talking today about I mean, they're doing a meeting, but it's not going to be live. Like, they're not going to let us watch the meeting about the debt. So I got the heater on. This has nothing to do with how cold it is here. My wife freezes the house out. She's like Mr. Freeze from Batman, bro. Like, she puts it at, like, I like it warm. Carol likes it cold. You know? She's like Mr. Freeze from Batman. And, like, that's just not what I'm about, man. It's too cold. All right, guys, we got 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Yeah, Tesla popping up a little bit. Again, we got a little cushion heading into the opening bell, guys. We'll see if we get anything good. Again, help your boy out. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell, guys. We appreciate the love and support. Yeah, that's basically what they're going to do, V. Is they're going to say Pavlov theory, buying the dip will keep working until it conditions you to do so without thinking. Complacency. Yeah, there's the opening bell. All right, so market popped right back up at the open. Let's see if it holds, but market's up. E-mini moved up. We're tracing back down with an upwick, though, right now. AMD pulling back a little bit. Apple is really surging up, though, at the opening bell here. And we did bounce, again, right at the previous closing price. Right at the previous closing price. Oh, my. Without fail, Carol at the opening bell every freaking day. Sheesh, man. Without fail, Carol calls me at the opening bell. And that's not what I was like. Carol, yeah, I'll tell you guys later. But no, it has nothing to do with the ice, the Mr. Freeze comments. It has to do with the tire pressure is low. It has to do with whether she should drive on the interstate with low tire pressure. You know. Anyways, market did exactly what I said it would. Guys, look at this. The market pulled back, bounced exactly at the volume weighted average price, exactly like I told you guys it would. I told you guys it would come back down to the VWAP, bounce right back up, and do this is what I drew, if you guys remember. Yeah, and the market's flying up exactly like I said it would. I told you guys what would happen, and it did it. All right, anyways. Yeah, that's what I told her too, to like go to the gas station, you know, but like, all right, look, the market did exactly what I thought it would. Over 419s, we pulled exactly down to the volume weighted average price. And again, if you guys heard me in pre-market, I literally called this exact thing. This exact thing. And that's what I'm saying. People were like, oh no, market looks short. Oh no, market looks weak. Oh, I don't know why you bought it. This is why I bought it originally there. And I should have stayed in the trade. So, and it's my fault I didn't stay in it. But this is exactly what I was talking about, which is that, look, market pulled back. Market pulled back exactly down to the volume weighted average price. The reason I knew what would happen here is because you got to look at trends, right? You have to look at the previous closing price on the SPY as well. Like you can see this light blue line right here. There's the market flying back up. I was spot on with this, man. Market is flying up right now too. My dip buy is looking great. Yeah, I mean, Kevin, I get you're obviously bearish, and that's fine. But the thing to understand here, man, the thing to really understand is that nobody knows when the market's going to crash. Like, I think there's a lot of YouTubers pushing this doomsday, doom and gloom scenario. And I just don't think it's accurate. I don't think the market has to crash. I think that the market's already down. It's been downtrending for years now. And eventually, it's not going to always downtrend. Eventually, it's going to start running back up like it has been. And then again, you got to understand there's no right or wrong movement of the market here. But I think a lot of people take bearish trades. A lot of big time YouTubers make big bearish predictions. Michael Burry makes big bearish predictions. And then when they're wrong, they blame it on manipulation or they blame it on all these other things where it's like sometimes the market's just going to bounce back. The market's been down. Inflation data has been better. Banks rebound pretty quickly. Again, CPI, PPI, jobless claims, they're all looking much better than they did over the last year. And so there's a lot of optimistic arguments for the market right now. It's not like the market just has to drop down. And again, we were absolutely right about this. This did exactly what we said it would, So we'll see if it continues, but yeah, not bad. Yeah, we made money in the move. Like I said, we made we bought the NASDAQ. It wasn't the E-mini, but we bought the NASDAQ. We're green. How has the market been trending down for years? Okay, it's pretty easy to look at this, guys. Like, look, okay. Let me show you. So here's the SPY. All right. Here's the SPY. Here's a weekly chart on the SPY. This is the market since 2021. This is the market. So in terms of trend, we're obviously been downtrending since 2021, 2022. We've only recently started to bounce back. But in terms of extension, it's not like people act like the market's just breaking highs and that it's manipulated. Right? The market's been trending down for 2 years now, and it doesn't have to keep going down. People acting like it should keep going down, or people acting like we're just breaking lifetime highs at the SPY. It's just not accurate. Again, I know you got a bunch of doomsday YouTubers pushing this. They're doing it to get clicks. Like they're saying the market's going to fail, the market's going to crash because they're trying to get clicks. Every year, somebody says the market's going to crash, and very rarely does it. And it's incredibly hard to predict. And when it does happen, not everybody thinks that it's about to happen either. And so the market is very contrarian sometimes. It does the opposite of what you might expect. And so if everybody's expecting the market to trend down, I'm generally looking at the market in the other way. 15% is a pretty big percentage, Tim. And you got to understand the long-term movement of the market is up. Like the market moves up long-term, guys. Like the S&P 500 is going to move up long-term. That's one of the most consistent edges that the market will ever give you is that long-term, the S&P is going to go up, And so if the S&P has been trending down for 2 years, what does that say? That says, hey, it might be time that the S&P 500 starts to correct back up. And I know it's not, I know you got a lot of people telling you the opposite, and maybe they're right. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. I could very easily be wrong. But I've been saying this for the last year, and so far time has proved me correct. And again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we crash, but the market's been very strong. The market's been downtrending since November. Okay, so if we're talking about November, market's been downtrending since November. Market's been bouncing back since November, but that's less than a year ago. And so, market's been downtrending prior to that for over a year. It doesn't have to keep going down either. That's the biggest misconception that people see. And again, it allows them again, look at the market flying up. We're too extended up here for me to really want to buy this either. But what the problem is that the biggest edge you'll ever get is that the S&P 500 is going to go up long term. It's the single biggest edge you get. Long-term investing, the S&P 500 gives you 6 to 12% a year. What that means is that includes crashes. The 6 to 12% a year includes crashes and bad market cycles, right? So what that generally tells you is that on green years, the S&P 500 is going to move up more than that, right? More than 6 to 12%, because that's including the crash statistics in it. And so again, but what happens is, like, you got all these people telling people the market's going to crash, that every big economic release, it's doom and gloom time, the market's just going to fail. You'll see, they say. And all these traders, they eat it up, they buy it up, and what happens is that they miss out on the biggest long-term edge the market gives you, which is long-term bullish action. If you don't believe that, you can look at the S&P 500 long-term. So here's a weekly chart. All right, we zoom out here. It's the biggest long-term edge you'll ever have in the market, as the market goes up. And again, we can see this pullback was significant that we had, but it doesn't mean that has to keep going down forever. Again, people are trading against like statistics long term. Yeah, I added a little bit, Cal, but we're not going to add too much to get extended in it. So I'm just going to sit on it. We already made enough on the last bounce that we're okay with this, and I think we just got to chill. Well, I'm trying to help people 75. I'm not saying, I don't even know if they want failure. I just think they're bearish, and so they want to confirm what they are, which is bearish. Like, confirmation bias is an incredibly strong thing. But I'm trying to help people understand, like, the real, like, time-tested, like, edge of the market is long-term value investing into blue chips. It's the biggest edge you'll ever get in the market. Most consistent edge, easiest money you'll make is long-term investing. But, you got a lot of people who just think crashes are going to happen every year that miss out on that edge, and a lot of them are actually betting against long-term strength in the market, which is one of the worst bets you could ever make. Betting that the S&P 500 is going to be weak long-term, one of the worst bets you could ever make, because again, S&P 500 is generally going to go up long-term. And with that said, SPY testing 420s, Apple bouncing back a little bit. Hey, thank you, Calvin. I appreciate it, man. And again, I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm not claiming to know anything here, guys. What I'm telling you is long-term statistics of the S&P 500. Yeah, but the extension of the upside was 2020, 2022. Sure. I mean, I agree, Tim. That prior to the big drop we got in 2020 was extended to the upside. I agree absolutely there, man. But we've now pulled back and corrected from that. And so by that logic, we've corrected from that. We've pulled back heavily. And now the market might start heading back up. That's generally the normal flow of the market long term. And again, maybe this is more nuanced than that, and maybe this is different. Maybe this is something that is an outlier of general market action that people are betting on. Maybe so. I don't know. Again, I really don't know. But I'll tell you this: with the market pumping up like it has been, it's very unlikely that the Fed pauses during the next rate hike decision in early June. It's very unlikely the Fed pauses. And we'll see. Again, I'm looking to trade. We're waiting. Market's a little bit too extended for me to buy this too. Look at Tesla break highs again up to 183s. So that's nice. At least we're green on our Tesla trade even more today. We bought JPMorgan at the open, and we are riding that one up too. So we did buy some JPMorgan. We got a nice little gain there. I will go ahead and take half of this position off. Lock in profit there, not worry about it now. PayPal's bounced up nicely too, so we'll sit on that too. AMD rebound, and the only red one on is Disney, but again, low 90s is usually kind of my buy zone, and I don't mind sitting on this. And luckily, it's not crazy big size, so we'll just kind of wait this out. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Yeah, all good, brother. We appreciate you being here, man. Yeah, exactly, Chris. So look at what Chris says here. And this is the big edge that people miss out on, man. There was an old study that showed anyone investing money in the market and left it there for a minimum of 10 years would be profitable almost no matter what. All right, so big little pullback here. We'll buy this dip, one contract of the micro, and see if we get a little bounce. But we've got a cushion on the day here. See if we get a little bounce, a little retracement back up. Flat on the trade so far. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that, and I'll just wait on the rest. We're still green on the day. We still got a cushion, but noticeably smaller one now. And I think I'll just wait. Market looks too much like it's gonna turn. All right, still dropping more here. We just scalped a little bit on the NASDAQ, though, so we're back up again about 120 on the day or so now. But I think I'm going to wait. The movement's getting pretty profound here. All right, so we're starting to bounce a little bit now. Based on technical analysis, today could be a red day. Well, of course it could. It could be a green day as well. I agree we might be a little extended on the upside. But technical is not set in stone, and the biggest movers of the market are fundamental, you know. All right, so we're consolidating now. NQ popped up a lot. AMD ripping up a lot as well. So let's see if the S&P follows it up. But the NASDAQ is moving up heavily here. You can see Apple bouncing back, SPY bouncing back, Tesla still breaking highs. Tesla is the big stock that's dragging the market up right now. Because Tesla's flying up. We'll give it some time to pause here, though. Yeah, Disney is where I'm starting to buy it up a little bit. But again, I think Yeah, I always wonder like why people come to the stream and try to promote themselves. You know how much bad form that is, man? You know? Like the way you grow on YouTube's not by spamming yourself on other people's stream, man. Even though I'm sure they'll deny they did that, but look, it's all love here. You know, I'm not trying to hate on anybody, but don't come here and try to promote your own YouTube. That's not going to work, man. You know, good luck. I hope you make money. You know, but again, just trying to give you some advice, real advice. The way you grow on YouTube is not by spamming your stuff. It's not by buying bots. It's not by spamming. It's not by, you know, going to other people's stream and kind of subtly promoting yourself. That's never going to work. That's not how you grow on YouTube, man. The way you grow on YouTube is by making content that people want to see and optimizing your keywords and your titles. That's how you grow. It's not by saying, hey, go into other people's stream and say, hey, plug, you know, I'm streaming as well right now. You know what I mean? And good luck. I hope you guys grow. I'm not hating. You know, I'm genuinely trying to teach you guys how it really works. Just not the way to grow, man. No, it's all right. Like, I understand. I was a young YouTuber at one time too, and I get it. Like, I really do. I understand. I'm not saying I never tried it myself, to be honest. But you realize that's not the way you grow, you know. I think social media marketing, like trading, is like you got a lot of people that want to be experts. And I'm not talking about this guy. This guy is not who I'm talking about. But I think you got a lot of people that want to be social media marketing experts, but they've never actually like grown a good sized channel. And so they think they know what they're talking about, but they really don't. And I think that happens a lot in trading as well. I think it happens in trading as well, where you got a lot of people that want to act like they're investment pros and that they're making 20K a week and all this crazy stuff, but they're not. And you know. All right, so market back over the VWAP here. Back over VWAP. We're slightly green on the day. Apple about to break highs of market hours. It's still green in pre-market because of that downgrade news, but it's starting to break back up. Between stocks, indexes, and Forex, what's the hardest to trade? I would say Forex is probably the hardest. Man, NASDAQ is just pumping up here, guys. Look at the NASDAQ run right now. So here's the NASDAQ. We made some money on this one today, too. Look at this huge run up here, though, guys. Wow. It's pumping up here. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say is like AMD just broke over the previous close too. So AMD's pumping. Again, we'll give it time. We'll see if it works, you know. My son broke the seatbelt of our car, and so Carol's angry. How is it possible that stocks like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft are pulling all-time high when even the Fed is predicting a recession? Greetings from Germany. All good, Roman. I'll try to answer that. So number one is that the Fed doesn't know what we're going to do. The Fed is just trying to gauge. Nobody knows what the market's doing, including the Fed. So the Fed said we could hit a mild recession, but I think that's looking less likely now with recent price action. And I think my guess is that during the next Fed meeting, as long as we hold some of these gains, the Fed will come out and say, hey, the market's looking more resilient, and that we're still going to raise rates, basically, is what I think is going to happen. So I think the market will still, as long as the market holds, I don't think the Fed has any chance of pausing rate hikes. I think inflation has gotten better, but it's still out there. And I think the market is showing resiliency here. And so, the market's going to do what it does. The market is not based off of company health. It's based off of mass psychology. I think Limitless, the movie, the guy from Limitless said that, and he's absolutely right. It's based around mass psychology. It's not based around actual health. Now, it plays off of the health, but not in a direct way. And so, yeah, we'll see. But a recession is not something that we have to have, number one. Number two is that time will tell what we get moving forward, if we show a recession at all or not. Again, what's most important for that is this week we have GDP data coming out. GDP data is very relevant for recession fears because a recession is technically defined as 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters, right? So if GDP comes in high, it's looking less likely that we're going to be in a recession. And then the PCE deflator that comes out Friday is going to influence the market in that regard as well. So that's kind of where we're at with those. But yeah, NASDAQ's still pumping up. The S&P is pulling back a little bit, but the NASDAQ's ripping up here. How did he manage that? I don't know, man. My son has ADHD, so he plays with the seat every time he gets in it and horses around on it. And now, But again, if you want to trade this volatility, guys, you can day trade and short in futures, and there's no PDT rule. And Top Step funds traders in futures, where they give you a demo and they test your skill. And you have to look at it reasonably. It's a challenge, but it's a reasonable challenge. It's a reasonable challenge that ultimately can help you learn how to trade. So if you look at this, base package is $165. If you use my link, you get 20% off. It's about 140, maybe a little bit less than 140. You got to make $3K without losing $2K or $1,000 a day with 5 contracts max. And 5 contracts is plenty. So it's a reasonable ratio. It's a 2 to 3 ratio. But just taking these challenges builds you into a better trader. There's free coaching. They have Coach T, Trader IQ, which alerts you if you break rules, and you can build rules yourself. Great support, a full community, and just a lot of other cool stuff in trading. Guys, just a lot of other cool stuff in trading. So taking these challenges, build your skill. And so again, they give you a demo and they test your skill. And most people are going to lose these challenges. But if you're good enough, you still keep 90%. But if you're bad enough, you only lose $140, much less than you would if you put the money up yourself. And so it's really the best of both worlds. And this is a company been around for over a decade. They pay out millions, fund thousands of traders a year. And so if you want to check them out, here is the link. You can use promo code TOPSTEP, you can use the exclamation point TOPSTEP and see if you get a move. Yeah, so the SPY's starting to reverse here. But again, the market is up so much. So there's the link. Nightbot just posted the link if you want to check it out. But we're finally getting a dip in the market here. But again, the market's up so much over the last 10 days that this doesn't matter. Market got up to 420s. And so the last couple weeks have looked like this. Or the last couple months have basically been like this. And so the market is showing resiliency with regards to recession fears, But with that said, it just means the Fed is going to probably raise rates. SPY's starting to break down, though. All right, sorry to hear that, Trader Mike. All right, we got a little pullback here. Again, we'll see if we actually hold this, but we do have a dip now. Yo, hit the subscribe button, guys, if you haven't yet. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. Do you think we'll bounce right here? Do you guys think we'll bounce? Again, I got this exactly right, though. I got to toot my own horn a little bit. If you guys remember what I said in pre-market, did anybody remember what I said? What I thought would happen? Does anybody remember what I said would happen? Here's the E-mini. what I said, where's the VWAP here? What I said is that I thought the market would pull back down like this and then bounce at the VWAP here. So I said the market would probably do this. And that's exactly what it did. When you're right, you're right. Definitely top 3 traders in the world right now for sure. Oh, Paul, come on now, man. Paul, you said the market was going to go down. I said the market would probably pull back down to the volume weighted average price and then bounce. And you know I said it. And so, Chad, do y'all remember me saying this? Let's just be honest here for a second. All right. Do you guys remember me saying that? Most people should. If they're being honest, they are. You know, I know Paul bet the market was going to drop and then this happened. So, I mean, I get him, you know. Maybe not wanting to admit that, but let's just be honest here for a second. Haha, you're right. I felt bad when I saw the market pop. Hey, thank you for being honest, Paul. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. It's not easy, bro. A lot of times people will be like, you know, a lot of times, man, people will be like, see, I called this, and then market will do the opposite. So I appreciate it. Oh no, I'm over here tooting my own horn. It's all right. Y'all can mess with me. Definitely top 3 tooting horn traders in the world right now. Apple pull it back a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the beautiful part about YouTube is that I can clip that pretty easily, you know. In fact, I think I will. Let me find it. They got a lot of things right. Hold on. Let me cancel that. Discard. GSRs. One of them had a type R. They're kind of like boutiques. Oh, I got to refresh this. What's the market doing now? So the market finally broke under the VWAP here. They're kind of like There we go. All right. Guys, data has been better. All right, give me a second. I'm finding this. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. So we just got out. I think we made about 160. Yeah, I'm gonna mute the music for just a second. All right, so yeah, market's finally breaking under the VWAP. All right, so market's still flushing down, starting to finally dip. All right, so again, market's starting to flush back down. I'll probably pivot to more of a short-based sentiment. But it is about giving back the whole pop, so he might end up being right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not arguing whether he's right long term. What I said, I drew maybe like a 20-minute prediction where I said I thought the market would pull back to the VWAP. I thought the market might pull back to the VWAP and then bounce off of the VWAP level, which is exactly what we got. Hello? Hey. All right, sorry, I had to deal with stuff on the like I said, Carol's air tire is low, so we're kind of dealing with that. But yeah, where was I? There we are. All right, so market's consolidating here on the E-mini. We're just trying to be patient. So we're trying to bounce it a little bit here, but we're kind of too middle range for me to take any more trades. All right, almost there. All right, so we're pulling back a little bit. The Apple stock is bouncing right at the 200 EMA. AMD is kind of consolidating around these levels. All right, pulling back a little bit now. All right, so again, market pulling back some. SPY is basically testing the previous closing price right now, which is a very relevant level. All right, so again, we're kind of sitting back here waiting for something to happen. Market's starting to flush, testing the previous closing. Oh, wait, there it was. All right, I see it. All right, I think I found the clip. Took me a little while. All right, we're pulling back a little bit now. All right, there's a breakdown. All right, so there's a breakdown. We're getting to the bottom range of the volume weighted average price, though. And again, we'll see if we actually hold this spot. All right, so here's the clip. I found it. So for everybody at home, this is what I said. Market's actually starting to break back down, but like you'll see what I said right here. Let me get the VWAP looking right first. Let me get standard deviations down, and we'll make it the purple line here, whatever it was. And so again, this is what it was, right? So here's the price action, right? So you can kind of see what happened here, guys. So you can kind of see basically, basically the market had this level right here, and then it broke down under it, bounced right at the VWAP, it bounced right back up. And this was coinciding with what the SPY did right here. right? So this was coinciding with what the SPY did right here. Same exact thing where the market, if you look at the SPY on this right side here, so if you look at the SPY on this right side, the SPY pulled back to the previous closing price level. You can kind of see this light blue line and then bounced directly off of it like this, right? And so this is what I said at the opening bell. So right, watch. This is what I said at the opening bell. If you guys want to see, I did find the clip. And so look, here's the clip right here. All right, so watch what I said. This is me. Should have held. No, we're not up enough to really confirm that. I think there's a bounce argument here, but I don't think anything's necessarily clear. So I understand both sides. And remember, this was before the opening bell. Longs and shorts, to be honest here. Again, what I think we got to look at is like here's the SPY right here. Here's the SPY. SPY is right at the 200 EMA, right at the VWAP, right over the previous closing price. And so I think one thing that we could see happen here is we could see like a dip down and then a bounce back up like this, right? So I think we could break under these lows, but then the previous closing price level here could cause us to get a pop. Maybe I'm wrong there, though. I could be wrong, but I think that's something we could see. All right, so that's what I said, right? And that's exactly what we got. So again, here's the previous closing price level on the right. Here's the previous closing price level on the right. Here's the VWAP where I said we'd break down and bounce back up. Here's the VWAP level that we drew. I said we would bounce back up there. And so that's precisely what we got. That's precisely what we got. And again, we are just making predictions. But what I'm trying to teach people is why I made that prediction. And again, the reason I made that prediction, and man, look at the breakdown in the backup. The reason I made that prediction is because the previous closing price is a very strong level. So like this previous closing price right here, you can kind of see we bounced directly off of it right here. It's a very influential level that not a lot of traders actually watch, but you should be watching it because it's the red to green level. It's just really influential. It's something that you should be watching. Is there really? Yeah, so somebody did report it. There was a photos, eyewitnesses, physical debris, and a strong odor of jet fuel were identified at the Pentagon, as with any airplane crash. But this was said a few days ago. Y'all just be careful out there, guys. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, guys. This is just what I'm reading on the news. I don't know if it's right or wrong. If you haven't already, guys, check out Top Step. I'm going to go ahead and close it down. But if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Again, easiest way to get your feet wet in day trading without taking on a lot of risk. All pro traders mostly trade futures. You know, there's no PDT rule. You can day trade short, buy market, buy bid, sell the ask. Here's my day. We're green on the day. We've got about a 3-to-1 win-loss ratio. Very green day all the way around. And so again, if you haven't checked out Top Step, I'll post this link. It really is the best way to build skill without taking on too much risk and learn how to trade, potentially have all the benefits. You can get funded if you're good enough and earn 90% on your profit. So if you get funded and you make 20K, you keep 18 of that. They keep 2 since they're funding you that money. But if you lose, it's also not the end of the world. It's very cheap. If you use my link, you can get 20% off and get it for like $140. There's the link. Also, guys, another one of my sponsors is a company called Chart Prime. And Chart Prime is very useful because what Chart Prime does is Chart Prime gives you custom indicators, right? So you can kind of see how I was talking about the previous closing price. My favorite indicator to use is Chart Prime's reversal indicator. It really is my favorite. And when you can find it coinciding with like a bunch of other ones, it could just be really powerful. And so again, here's Chart Prime's reversal indicators. I'm about to put them up on screen. So Chart Prime gives you reversals alerts, reversal signals. We've only gotten 2 today. So you can kind of see we've only had 2 today. But if you look at the 2 that they called out, They literally called out the very top on this 5-minute chart. So they gave you the reversal signal here, and then look at the drop you got for like 30 minutes afterwards. Again, reversal signal here, and then you got a drop heading down to that VWAP area. And so again, it can be really, really powerful, and you can use them on any time frame. Again, I think a big edge is when multiple show up together at once, like bearish engulfing and possible reversal down signal here. You get some drops. I also like using them on like a 1-hour time frame. But again, they are a sponsor of mine, and so I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money. Of course, so I'm biased, but look at these. So these are a 1-hour chart as well. Same kind of thing. Reversal down, drop, reversal down, drops. And so pretty accurate here. Again, we can keep looking at this. This one was wrong. This one literally called the very bottom. Look at that bullish engulfing candle. Nice little bounce. Look at the very bottom called on this one too. Bullish engulfing candle and reversal up. Nice little bounce. This one might have failed, but this one was right. Nice drop. This one was right. Nice bounce. And keep going back here and just see how useful these are. Look at this. Reversal down, drop. Reversal down, drop. And so again, for $35 a month, it's very cheap. And you can use the link in the description if you want to check it out. So good luck, guys. I love you all. Y'all be safe. Have a good day. Y'all be smart. Stay safe in the markets, guys. And I'll see you guys later. Good luck. Love you all. Y'all have a good day, guys. We'll see you guys. Again, you can check out the link in the description. Get 40% off. Get it for like $35 a month for Chart Prime, which is very cheap. But yeah, I'll see you guys later.